और पसंद करेगी।
लाल रंग इसका अपार, तीखा कम है फिर भी स्वाद, बेमिसाल बेमिसाल MDH कश्मीरी,
MDH कश्मीरी।
MDH।
मेहनत और समर्पण के प्रतीक अन्नदाताओं को डबल इंजन सरकार ने दी है नई पहचान। कर्मयोगी सरकार ने किया है वो दमदार काम जो दशकों तक था सिर्फ सपना। उत्कर्ष के इन 8 वर्षों में गन्ना किसानों को किया गया है रिकॉर्ड 2,90,000 करोड़ रुपए से अधिक गन्ना मूल्य का भुगतान। वर्ष 2007 से 2017 तक हुए भुगतान से यह 1,48,000 करोड़ रुपए है अधिक। माननीय मुख्यमंत्री योगी आदित्यनाथ के नेतृत्व में पारदर्शिता और तकनीक से जुड़ी नई व्यवस्था ने बदली है गन्ना किसानों की तकदीर। वर्ष 2017 से अब तक 4 बार बढ़ाया गया है गन्ना समर्थन मूल्य। गन्ना पेराई सत्र 2025-26 में गन्ना किसानों को होगा 3,000 करोड़ रुपए से अधिक का अतिरिक्त लाभ। नई चीनी मिलें और बढ़ी क्रशिंग क्षमता ने असल मायनों में गन्ने की फसल को बनाया है ग्रीन गोल्ड। काम दमदार, डबल इंजन सरकार।
MDH केसर का हो बहाना,
कश्मीरी पुलाव या हो बिरयानी खाना, केसरी चाय दूध, रसमलाई, केसरी लड्डू,
हलवा याद आना,
अरे यही तो है MDH केसर का बहाना।
MDH शुद्ध केसर, खुशबू ऐसी जो दिल जीत ले।
MDH।
The judiciary in India is independent, fearlessly independent. I think country will have to stand as united to fight terrorism. Other than getting up at the last moment, we could start preventing measures throughout the year. So the biggest inspiration, of course, has been Dr. Saheb Ambedkar.
अब छोलिया हो या लोबिया, सफेद चने या काले चने,
सब कुछ मजेदार बने।
MDH।
The judiciary in India is independent, fearlessly independent. I think country will have to stand.
All right, breaking news coming in. Former Union Minister and Congress leader Veerappa Moily has criticized Congress High Command. He has said that there should have been a proper, smooth transition, but now the fire has reached a stage where it cannot be extinguished.
I don't know that if at all it has to be fulfilled, the will of the High Command will have to prevail. And if it has to be fulfilled, there should have been a proper, smooth transition. But you allow this to come to a climax, and the fire has already come to that stage where it cannot be extinguished at all. And that kind of situation should not have been created. And I regret that the otherwise conducive situation for the Congress party in Karnataka is being destroyed. I don't.
All right, Belly Thomas, my colleague, is joining us on the broadcast to discuss more of this evolving and emerging, but not yet conclusive problem in Karnataka. Belly, a Congress senior leader criticizing the party that why is this fire being doused at this point in time? This is something that should have been taken care of a lot earlier. DK Shiv Kumar, from his cryptic tweets, seems to be hinting at the fact that after 2.5 years, it was his turn to become the chief minister, and that's not happening. But the Congress party, still looks very disjointed as to the severity of this problem.
Absolutely, Vineet. So we have Chief Minister here, Chief Minister Siddaramaiah, and the Deputy Chief Minister DK Shivkumar taking pot shots at each other, saying that even though they maintain superficially that they would abide to the decision that would be taken by the High Command, they are doing their work with the help of their loyalist MLAs of each of their camps. So we happen to see that there are a lot of leaders who are supporting DK Shivkumar has come forward to say that it was DK Shivkumar's hard work that had fetched the Congress around 30 seats in the old Mysuru region, and he had toiled so hard during the election times, and that was the main cause for bringing the Congress party to power in Karnataka. So this they highlight, and internally there are also source-based information that DK Shivakumar is also moving his MLAs that they would be given cabinet berths and plum posts in the cabinet if they were to convince the High Command that he be elevated as the CM. So this kind of drama is happening within the DK Shivakumar's camp. And coming back to Chief Minister Siddaramaia's camp, again, we get to know that now they have started playing caste cards, as Chief Minister Siddaramaiya belongs to the Ahinda community. A lot of backward communities' vote backs are with Siddaramaiya, and of course he enjoys the majority of MLA support. He's called the mass leader, and he's senior most in position. There was a kind of a power sharing pact which only 5 to 6 leaders know about, is what DK Shivakumar says, and that was the word that was given. That was a word that was agreed upon when Siddaramaiya was inducted as the Chief Minister as soon as the election got over in Karnataka in 2023 and the Congress party came into power. Now, Deputy Chief Minister DK Shivakumar is taking pot shots as to Siddaramaiya is not keeping his word. So that's what the cryptic tweets mean. And Siddaramaiya also has replied to that tweet saying that our word is to to have a consensus that the entire party will work towards the welfare of the people of Karnataka, and that we are achieving. And in this 2.5 years, we have achieved more than what we have promised. All the guarantee schemes were, a major success is what Siddaramaiya is projecting. And this is what the message that is going to the High Command as well, wherein they have called for a meeting on November 30th that they
All
would
right,
sort
Belly,
it
stay
out.
with
So
us. We
until
have
then,
more to talk
we
to you about. Well, Sri Lanka floods have turned deadly as Cyclone Ditwah is approaching. The Badulla hit hardest as a landslide crushed homes overnight. Cyclone Ditwah pushes rivers to dangerous levels and has prompted red flood warning as well. And for low-lying areas, including Colombo, the roads, train services and A-level exams are suspended as the island faces one of its worst weather disasters in years. In this visual, you can see on your screen the level of waterlogging and flooding that has affected Sri Lanka. Severe flooding can be seen in markets with vehicles and houses submerged. In the next visual, you can see a dramatic rescue operation with the Air Force Airlight 3 locals from a rooftop as the floods are surging. Officials have warned that the storm could intensify as the cyclone moves across the island over the next 12 hours. The floods are intensifying in Sri Lanka as Cyclone Ditwah is relentless. Rains are pushing the water higher. In this visual, you can see how the flooded factory in this area is completely inundated in water. You can also see the workers inside the building bracing the impact of this flood. And as part of Operation Sagar Bandhu, India has extended swift humanitarian aid to Sri Lanka following Cyclone Ditwah, providing 4.5 tons of dry rations and 2 tons of fresh rations, including staple commodities and packaged ready-to-eat items. A dramatic rescue in Okana, Sri Lanka, saw a man saved from the rising flood waters while clinging to a coconut tree. Tragically, Cyclone Ditwah has claimed at least 56 lives due to severe flooding and landslides as well. In this video, we can see the impact of the flooding with the way the water is overflowing from the river onto the bridge. The bridge has been closed off for safety reasons and the water continues to rise. This is a drone visual showing how badly the waterlogging and flooding is in Sri Lanka, with several houses and entire areas being under water. This is intensifying cyclonic storm and its activity, and Ditwah has unleashed torrential downpours exceeding 300 millimeters in certain spots, fueling catastrophic landslides and inundations. All right, Belly, my colleague, is still with us on the broadcast to give us the latest when it comes to this calamity which has already hit Sri Lanka and could be hitting parts of India as well, Belly.
Absolutely, Vineet. So floods and landslide in Sri Lanka have killed at least 56 people as Cyclone Ditwah deadly tropical storm which had swept across the South Asian country on Friday. In Cyclone Ditwah made a landfall early on Friday morning, affecting mainly the eastern and the central regions of the island nation with wind speeds of 65 kilometers per hour. That's 40 miles per hour before and after the tropical cyclone or the storm makes a landfall. It caused heavy rain, and Sri Lanka saw a downpour of heavy torrential rainfall exceeding 30 centimeters, more than 11.8 inches between Thursday and Friday. And the rain has triggered flooding and landscapes which had killed at least 56 people. And the death toll across the death toll seems to be increasing. A lot of people have gone missing as well, as what we gathered from sources there. And on Thursday, more than 25 people were reported killed in landslides alone in the central mountainous, tea-growing regions of Badulla and Nuwara Elia, which is about 300 kilometers east of the capital of Colombo. And others lost their lives in landslides in other parts of Sri Lanka as well. And a further 21 people are reported missing and 14 have been injured in Badulla and Nuwara Elia areas, according to the government's disaster management center. In all, 23 people have gone missing across the country. The heavy downpour has destroyed 4 houses and damaged more than 600 of them. It has also caused trees and muds to fall to block multiple roads and railway lines. The weather conditions have also caused flight disruptions. 15 flights, including services from Muscat, Dubai, New Delhi, Bangkok, were diverted from Bandaranaike International Airport in Colombo to Matala Rajapaksa International Airport in Sri Lanka's southern province, Matala, as well as to Trivandrum and Kochi in India from Thursday and through to Friday afternoon as well. So this is what the local media from Sri Lanka has been reporting, and the country's disaster management center have evacuated around 43,991 people so far from 12,313 families to schools and other public shelters. And the media has also showed footages of military helicopters rescuing 3 people stranded on a rooftop of their home on Thursday in Hanewala, a town in Sri Lanka's Colombo district. The Navy and the police also evacuated people by boat. The government has announced the closure of all government offices and schools on Friday, and additional train services were suspended, and Colombo Stock Exchange announced an early trading finish. The authorities closed on several roads across the country after landslides sent rocks, muds, and trees onto roads and rail lines, some of which were also submerged by floodwaters, Vinny.
All right, fair enough. Let's also get some voices and discuss what's happening with this cyclone. Mr. Krishan Mithru, disaster management expert, is with us on the broadcast. Mr. Naveen Bhatnagar, former DIG, NDRF, also joins us on the show. Mr. Mithru, I'll begin with you, sir. So first of all, these weather anomalies and these cyclones have become extremely sporadic and frequent in certain parts of the world, including some of the seas that surround India. What do you make of the latest one? It's already wreaked havoc in Sri Lanka. It is going to be landing in certain coastal areas of India as well. How do you look at this peculiar problem, which is not so infrequent anymore?
Thank you, Vineet, for inviting me on your channel. Well, experience shows that this is a condition of weather change, climatic change, which is taking place all over the world, and it is equally affecting the Indian subcontinent also. Now here, I would come down straight to the conditions a cyclone can develop is when the sea has an ideal conditions of about 23 to 27 degrees centigrade temperature with a Coriolis force, which means when the earth is rotating, with the friction, the wind adopts a certain pattern, which means Coriolis force says that when the wind is flowing from your back to the front, that time the low pressure area lies to your left, and that is how then the wind starts to circulate in an anti-clockwise manner. it slowly develops further, and the moisture from the sea starts to rise into the sky and give a large moisture incursion into the atmosphere. Now, this is a typical situation which is happening over and over again. And yes, very rightly you said just now that the frequency of these weather phenomena, I would say weather phenomena, has increased. Not only on the seas, but even on the hills and other areas also. The weather pattern has been changing considerably. Here in this particular case, now at present, this cyclone Ditwah is uh, on the coast of Sri Lanka, moving northwest, and is likely to intensify till about 30th, that is day after tomorrow, into a well, tomorrow it will take the position of cyclonic storm with the winds likely touching about 70 to 80 kilometers an hour. And thereafter, it will probably weaken after it hits the Indian coast in southeastern side of the country. When the winds are likely to die down, and when it when it has a ground fall, the winds will further reduce, and it will turn into a deep depression and depression. The primary thing what we have got to bother about is extreme weather conditions. Like just now we were told that in Sri Lanka it has rained about 300 millimeters, which is about 11.5 inches, which is very, very severe rainfall, which is very, very heavy rainfall. I estimate that by the time this cyclone Ditwa hits the Indian coastline, it will not be as severe, and the intensity of the rain and the winds will start to reduce because the landfall. Now, the state government is already prepared, and here it is affecting more than one state: the coastal Andhra, the Kerala, Telangana, uh, Karnataka, and of course, Andaman Nicobar too. I hope the losses will be well controlled with sufficient warning having come to the state departments, all the departments, meteorological department, including the NDRF and the disaster management set up in these states, and adequate measures will be taken to either evacuate the people from the sensitive areas, the most likely to be affected areas, and they should be moved to safer places in order to avoid flood damages, etc., to the human and the livestock also. Thank you, Vijay.
All right, breaking news coming in. Intensifying cyclonic storm Ditwa has unleashed torrential downpours exceeding 300 millimeters in spots, fueling catastrophic landslides and inundations that claim 56 lives and leave 21 unaccounted for. Over 44,000 from 12,000 households have endured the brunt, with 600 plus dwellings obliterated and vast crop fields spanning 600,000 acres ruined, threatening food scarcity, and provinces have ground to a halt. Key thoroughfares have been barricaded by debris. Rail lines have been suspended except vital routes. All non-essential institutions have been shut, and A-level assessment has been deferred. More than 20,000 soldiers are spearheading this frantic extraction via choppers and rafts amidst blackout zones. Mr. Naveen Bhatnagar, former DIG NDRF, is also with us on this program to talk more about this. Mr. Bhatnagar, this is obviously a very precarious situation at this point in time. Sri Lanka is, of course, bearing the brunt. It is much smaller. It's a lot coastal in terms of its surroundings. What should India brace for at this point in time, as per you?
Actually, it's a super cyclone under category 3. And and lot of the cyclonic pressure is there on Sri Lanka especially. So, being a member of our SAARC countries, Sri Lanka, so we have already warned them 2 days earlier to be prepared for that. And time and again, we are cautioning them. And accordingly, they were doing their rescue operations, and people were shifted to the safer places. So definitely human losses will be less, but other things, coastal area, crops and vessels and other house and all these things will be definitely damaged because it is a severe cyclone. And the side effects will definitely will be there, as your reporter was telling. So need not to worry. Already NDRF is there, Army is there, Navy is there, and also is a challenge for our Indian coastal line area countries also, and other places also. Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Kerala, all these things are there. So we have the threat also with us, but no problem. It is under control. But definitely Sri Lanka is facing the devastating situation, and is a good thing that we have already warned them. We are helping them in all the manners. We are helping them. We are supplying them the medicine, the medicines, food, clothes, and other required items. Our teams are there, so need not to worry. They will be helped in all the manners, and we are keeping watch on them, especially our NDMA. Our Modi Saab, he is the chairman of NDMA, and in his control room, and he is getting continuous information regarding the situation of Sri Lanka and in our Indian continent, especially the coastal line area, the districts. So all the precautionary warnings were issued, and they are keeping watch on this. And our NDRF teams in adequate numbers, they are placed there, and they will help definitely in all the manners whenever it will be required. And whatever Sri Lanka government is needed, we are helping them. We will help them. We will provide them all the our expertise, all the our amenities, all the required items as and when it is required. So need not to worry. We are it's under control. So we are already on the war footing drills for this purpose, and definitely we will help them. So need not to worry. And by this, as a I can say that government of India is giving full support them, and definitely whenever they require any help, we are our control room. We, the people of India, will definitely help to the Sri Lankan people. Yeah.
Of Bengal near North Tamil Nadu, Puducherry and adjoining South Andhra Pradesh coast by early morning of 30th November is what we are learning. And also Tamil Nadu Health Minister M.A. Subramaniam has said that the Health Department has directed all government hospitals to keep medical teams available around the clock. This is as the IMD has forecast heavy rainfall for November 29th and 30th across the southern and delta districts ahead of Cyclone Ditwah's approach in the Bay of Bengal. The cyclone is expected to reach the North Tamil Nadu, Puducherry and adjoining South Andhra Pradesh coast by early morning on the 30th of November. And he said that if more than 2 fever-related cases are reported in any locality, the department has been instructed to set up special medical camps in that area as well. In Tamil Nadu, 16 SDRF teams and 12 NDRF teams have also been deployed to districts where heavy rainfall is likely to occur. Relief camps will be set up in areas to be affected by the cyclone, and M.K. Stalin has said that IMD has given a warning for heavy rain in delta districts and southern areas on November 29th and 30th. I have held a meeting with the collectors of these districts and instructed them to be alert. And the State Disaster Response Team of Tamil Nadu has also arrived in Tanjavur ahead of Cyclone Ditwah, assuring that all precautions are in place. Cyclone Ditwah is expected to make landfall on the 30th, and the IMD has issued alerts for heavy rain with thunderstorms and lightning across Tamil Nadu. This is going to be happening in Andhra Pradesh as well. Let me in fact rope in Mr. Mithru, disaster management expert, into this conversation as well. Mr. Mithru, precautions are already being taken, but definitely citizens who are watching us, who are listening to us, what can they do at their end? What is that sign of danger that they should in fact look out for?
Number one, the citizens should move out of the cyclone, the affected area, or which is the area which is likely to be affected. They should move deeper into the land. Also, if they can move onto a little elevated areas, maybe a small hillock or something. Also, while vacating their homes, the citizens should secure all their household belongings, number one. Take along with them their livestock and adequate rations, etc. They must carry with them their due documents for identification and ownership of their properties. Those are the basic things that we need to bother about. Also, very specifically, I would appeal to the state governments. I have no doubt that they must have taken adequate measures to safeguard their
Fair enough,
citizens.
Fair enough, sir.
There.
Thank you. Thank
Yes.
you for those updates. And Mr. Patnagar, appreciate you joining us. Mr. Mithru, thank you for joining us. More breaking news coming in. Weather Department has warned that winds near the core may reach 60 to 80 kilometers per hour, with gusts up to 90 kilometer per hour as well. IMD has advised fishermen to avoid vast stretches of the Bay of Bengal for the next 5 days. Belly, my colleague, is still with us on the broadcast to talk more about this. Belly, this is of course the usual warning that goes out to fishermen, especially to fishermen, in case of a kind of a cyclone like this.
Absolutely, Vinit. So the Meteorological Department in Chennai on Friday had issued an alert regarding this cyclonic storm Ditwah, stating that the storm, which is centered over the coastal Sri Lanka and the adjoining southwest Bay of Bengal, has moved north-northwestwards at a speed of around 10 kilometers per hour over the past 6 hours. And according to the Chennai Met Department, the cyclonic storm Ditwah remains centered at 8:30 a.m. over the same region near the latitude 8.3 north and longitude of 81 degree east. The system is located approximately 40 kilometers southwest of Trincomalee and 100 kilometers northwest of Batticaloa in Sri Lanka. On the Indian side, the cyclone is located about 320 kilometers south-southeast of Karaikal in Tamil Nadu and 430 kilometers south-southeast of Puducherry and 530 kilometers south of Chennai. And the Chennai Met Department had said it's very likely to continue moving northwestwards across the Sri Lankan coast and adjoining southwest Bay of Bengal and reach the southwest Bay of Bengal near North Tamil Nadu, Puducherry and adjoining South Andhra Pradesh coast by early morning of November the 30th. And as Cyclone Ditwah approaches India, the National Disaster Response Force has deployed teams across several districts in Tamil Nadu to carry out precautionary measures amid heavy rainfall following requests from the Tamil Nadu and the Puducherry State Disaster Management Authorities.
All right, Belly, appreciate you joining us. Well, after Congress High Command summoned both DK Shivkumar and Siddaramaiah, we are being told that Karnataka Chief Minister DK Shivkumar will be arriving in Delhi tonight, is what we are learning. Anand Singh, my colleague, joins us on the broadcast to talk more about this. All right, DK Shivkumar is going to be arriving in Delhi tonight. Belly, my colleague, still with us. Belly, this is of course in line with the tussle, if we can call it that, going on between the Chief Minister and his deputy.
Absolutely, Vineet. So he has been summoned, that is Deputy Chief Minister DK Shivkumar has been summoned by the High Command that there would be a meeting on November 30th is what we were told. Earlier it was November 29th, that is tomorrow, but it has been postponed to November 30th. But however, the Deputy Chief Minister is going to Delhi tonight because there are other issues that he has to speak with the High Command and resolve those issues as well. So this was what he had spoken to the media as of now. But having said that, he has, superficially, both the leaders, both the senior leaders, both Shivakumar and Chief Minister Siddaramaiah is maintaining that they would abide by the decision taken by the High Command. However, the loyalist MLAs who belongs to them in their respective camps are the ones who are making the lobbying with the High Command. And according to our sources, we are told that these MLAs, the loyalist MLAs of both the camps, have already implied or conveyed it to the High Command as to whose
Appreciate you
leadership.
joining us. We're going to keep an eye on this development. DK Shivakumar is in Delhi now to, of course, speak with the Congress High Command. We take a short break now. Be right back.
Co-powered by PolicyBazaar.com. हर फैमिली होगी इंश्योर्ड।
अब आया असली स्वाद।
अब आया स्वाद।
जब स्वाद के पड़े हो लाले तो MDH का चंकी चाट मसाला डालें। MDH का चंकी चाट मसाला।
MDH.
The judiciary in India is independent, fearlessly independent. I think country will have to stand as united to fight terrorism. Rather than getting up at the last moment, we could start preventing measures throughout the year. So the biggest inspiration, of course, has been Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar.
MDH की देगी मीरज,
देगी मिर्च का तड़का, अंग अंग फड़का।
MDH की देगी मीरज।
The judiciary in India is independent, fearlessly independent. I think country will have to stand as united to fight terrorism. Rather than getting up at the last moment, we could start preventing measures throughout the year. So the biggest inspiration, of course, has been Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar. The judiciary in India is independent, fearlessly independent. I think country will have to stand as united to fight terrorism. Rather than getting up at the last moment, we could start preventing measures throughout the year. So the biggest inspiration, of course, has been Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar.
Following a shooting incident near the White House, US President Donald Trump has announced a hardline policy reset. He's declared his administration will work to impose a quote-unquote permanent pause on migration from countries that he has termed as third world. This sweeping, non-specific measure is part of a broader strategy which the president stated is aimed at allowing the US immigration system to fully recover and to remove any foreign nationals deemed to be a public charge or not a net asset to the country. The rhetoric accompanying the announcement has suggested a significant tightening of legal immigration pathways alongside existing efforts to curb unauthorized migration and restrict access to federal benefits for non-citizens. This broad directive is accompanied by specific targeted policy actions from the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services. Following the incident, the agency director ordered a full-scale, rigorous re-examination of every green card issued to permanent residents from 19 countries of concern, which included Afghanistan, Iran, Somalia, and several others. This review empowers the USCIS officers to consider an applicant's country of origin as a strong adverse factor when evaluating immigration benefits. The administration has also formally pursued actions to end various federal benefits and subsidies for non-citizens and is working to tighten the definition of public charge, which could affect any immigrant or green card holder who utilizes certain government services. Meanwhile, for Indian nationals, the immediate targeted impact is minimal. The country, of course, is not included on the list of 19 nations that are subject to the urgent green card review. But the use of the term third world countries has introduced a significant level of, one can say, uncertainty. While India was historically non-aligned, as many of you may know, during the Cold War, which was a common outdated definition of the term, it is now classified as a rapidly developing major global economy and of course is not listed anymore amongst the United Nations least developed countries either. The potential, however, long-term implications for the massive India-US migration corridor lie in the general chilling effect of this very restrictive rhetoric that has been brought back and the possible creation of a new undefined criteria for future visa and green card applicants, particularly the high-skilled professionals and students from India who represent the largest cohort of legal immigrants seeking status in the United States. But what does this truly mean? I take that conversation forward. With me, Ambassador Baswati Mukherjee, former diplomat. We are with us, Mr. Surinder Singh Lali, international affairs expert. Dr. Martan Jha, contributing editor to Newsx, and Joyita Basu, editor of the Sunday Guardian, with us. Let me begin with Ambassador Mukherjee. Ambassador Mukherjee, your thoughts, ma'am, on the larger implications of America's ties with several nations if they keep every few months, if they keep regurgitating their policy on immigration, on migration. Earlier there was a lot of confusion with the H-1B visas, then that was resolved, and now you have one shooting incident, and of course every country, ma'am, has the right to protect its own interests. But certain statements come from the President of the United States which then have a deeper, larger meaning and implication. Your thoughts on the same?
Well, first of all, I regret that he used the word third world because that is completely passé now. Nobody uses the word third world countries. They either say developing countries or least developed countries or emerging economies. None of this affects India at all. If you look at the list of countries, they are countries. Earlier, he had said that he wants to restrict giving visas to citizens from such countries. Ironically, in the meantime, he welcomed in the White House the president of Syria, who was branded as a terrorist and has spent time in an American prison, but then had the facility of shaking Donald Trump's hand and being greeted like a VIP with US-Syrian ties being reset, etc. So these are all issues which he picks on from time to time, and then depending upon the situation, he changes his mind. For example, there is a limitation to what he can do towards genuine green card holders and what kind of privileges they have, because there he is restricted by the courts, because United States is a country based on rule of law. So beyond a point, he cannot take away from legal residents, green card holders, regardless of which country they are from. If they have committed no crime against US laws, he cannot just take away their federal benefits. On the other hand, he can certainly restrict immigration from such countries that he is listed. Such countries, they already have been put on the limitation list as far as visas are concerned. The third point here is that the person who did this was an Afghan veteran who had served in the US Army. There have been many cases in the past where American veterans, white people, have reacted in such a manner because they suffer from what they call post-conflict trauma. So we don't know why this individual acted the way he did, but there have been earlier cases which has been put down as trauma because of conflict, etc., etc. They go through psychological and therapy, etc., etc. So we don't know enough about this incident, but I think that we should not allow it to cast any shadow on the India-US relationship. It does not affect us at all. We have taken back illegals without arguing about it. We have tried to stop illegals from going to the United States. And on the other hand, as you rightly pointed out, the H-1B visa is in the process of being resolved. And President Trump has been forced to concede that if he sends back highly qualified workers, be they from South Korea or from India or even from China for that matter, they can't be replaced by what he termed as people standing in a unemployment line waiting for benefits. He's right. They cannot be replaced. A person who is a nuclear engineer or doing something which is vital for America's core security interests and happens to come from India cannot be replaced by an American who is half literate and you can't sign his name and is on the unemployment dole. I'm glad that he understood that finally. It took him a little bit of time to understand it, but he has understood it. So I think that we should not even think of getting involved in this discussion. It is for the countries concerned to do it, but it shows an inherent racism in the present American administration approach, and the use of the word third world is highly pejorative, as they say, and never, it hasn't been used in the UN, for instance, for decades now. So it also shows how they actually think of the countries which have been colonized and are now coming up. They actually look down upon us, because what does the word third world mean? It means those who are not in the first world. And what is the first world? The first world is the world of MAGA, the world of Donald Trump. It's as simple as that. So it's not. It really is a good reflection of how the Americans now look at the rest of the world, unfortunately.
Okay, all right. Joyita Basu, bringing you in as well. Your thoughts on the same, the fact that, like I said, every few months something of this sort comes out from the United States of America. Of course, there's a lot of domestic politics involved as well, right? Donald Trump is trying to prove to Americans that, listen, I'm doing this because the Biden administration allowed, in his words, a lot of illegal aliens to come into the country. And that's what's leading to some of America's gravest domestic problems right now. But ultimately using terms like third world and casting a doubt over and over again on certain parts of the world. How do you think that's going to really work out for the United States of America in the months to come?
Well, right now, whatever Trump is saying, it's a default reaction, I would say, to basically the pressure and the, I would say, the rhetoric that is coming from the MAGA base. Because you see, third world, if you scan X, I mean, where there is outright, I mean, there's complete, I mean, total wall-to-wall racism against India going on. And the thing is, you see, this word third world, this phrase is very common over there. So you see, I mean, even Elon Musk, to my utter surprise, there is this guy, some Max guy, one of the MAGA influencers, he was talking about Somalia in that case, and he was using the word third world. You know, there is a difference in culture between the third world and what we are, and Elon Musk agreed to it. So when you are looking at a situation like that, you have to understand, today maybe they are talking about Somalia, but if you go to X and if you go to MAGA, they have been fed. And not just that, even Steve Bannon, you know, Steve Bannon's platform for that matter, constant, I mean, tirade against, nobody is talking about Somalians over there, constant tirade against India, Indians, H-1B visa holders, fraud, the kind of words that are used, it is unimaginable. So today we may pride ourselves into thinking that we are a developing country, but to these people we are a third world, and sooner or later today they are talking against this Afghan man who turned out to be a terrorist. Tomorrow, which they are already talking about, it will become mainstream about Indians eating with their hands. You know, that does not fit with our culture. So this is an escalation process that will go on and that will continue. We cannot, I mean, the only way I would say that this trend is likely to be, if not reversed, but at least checked to an extent, is a complete decimation of the Republicans in the next midterms. Without that, this is not going to stop, because this, you saw what Vance did. I mean, he literally almost disowned his wife's religion.
Yes.
He threw her under the bus. Then that is the MAGA mindset, and this is what these people are catering to. And not just that, there is a lot of unhappiness within Republicans also, that this whole narrative of the Republicans is being hijacked by what has come to be known as groypers. And who are the groypers? Groyper. Now these groypers are the white Christian only. You know, they don't even count Jews. Even if they are white skinned, they don't even count. They do not want them on their platform. White Christian nationalists. These are the groypers. They are also calling it America only. And these are the people who are fueling Trump's base. And Trump has to cater to that base. So as I said, unless and until, even inside the Republicans, there is so much unhappiness with whatever is going on. So you think India, today they are not talking about India, but they are bracketing us. If you go, as I said, they are already calling us that, you know, okay, I mean, I don't want to even excrement. That is what they have a kind of, that is what they talk about whenever they are talking about India. Okay, and they are going to do it to us also, even without doing it.
And I know some of these posts that you're talking about, Jyota. I've also read the same post. You know, I'm also forgetting who was the author of that post, but yes, Elon Musk had reposted it. And they were just simply saying that till the time we don't get rid of the people who've come in from third world countries, we're going to lose our own culture. And in fact, if you look at Surendra Lali, bringing you in here, if I were to look at, you know, this point that Jyota has raised, I'm just going over, as we're speaking, Elon Musk's X in the past few hours, and that's all that these some of these people are reposting. Someone has written, Afghans are a primitive people, most of whom have never encountered indoor plumbing, to say nothing of a floor. 90% told Pew that they want to live under Sharia law. You know, so these are the sort of narratives. And as Jyota said, yes, currently we're talking about 19 countries, right, that Donald Trump and his administration have singled out. But what's to say that someday all of us will not be clubbed together, and once again, the futures of many Indians who've decided to settle abroad will be at risk?
Thank you, Devika. Devika, that's the Frankenstein monster Donald Trump has created. I mean, to me, honestly, America, the most powerful nation in the world and the most powerful man in the world, the entire country is made out to be a kabuki circus. Devika, let's take it from the top. Who is an American? They're Native Americans. I've lived in the US and I see them in miserable conditions. You know, there was a Catawba tribe next to where I used to work, and I used to see them in miserable conditions. If anybody who has proprietary is them. I mean, it's Donald Trump's mother, Marianne Trump. She was born in Scotland. His wife is from erstwhile USSR. Usha Vance, I mean, your mother's from India. The outgoing Vice President Kamala Harris, she had Indian roots. Not to mention the current ambassador, designated ambassador to India, I'm not too sure his taken charge, Sergio Gore, was born in Uzbekistan. And Mr. Mamdani, he was born in Uganda and only became a citizen in 2018. So first of all, who defines, you know, who's American is just a bunch of MAGAs from the Rust Belt states, and the rednecks are now going to control the narrative. And for them, anybody who's non-Westby white is American, irrespective of, you know, the kind of shooting that internally happens. I mean, America needs to understand one thing. I mean, it's very unfortunate that what that Afghan did, and a lot more killing happens in America. I'm not going to justify that, but you stop visiting other countries. You stop indulging in regime change. You visited Afghanistan. You made a mess out of that country. There's so many people who were informers are still stuck in Afghanistan. And it's unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. What goes around comes around. So this is what is happening. And unfortunately, he's not even still understanding. He's thrown in another 500, National Guard, making them even more vulnerable, as Joyita said. I mean, there is definitely a big trust deficit and a mistrust within the Republican Party. But the point is, who wants to bell the cat? J.D. Vance wouldn't do it because he's trying to become the next vice president. And, the problem, Devika, now is going to happen is that this monster is going to eat America up by itself because America was built by immigrants. I mean, if you take the immigrants out, where is NASA? Where is Lockheed Martin? Where is Boeing or the Silicon Valley or now the AI revolution? And Elon Musk himself is a South African from Canada and now he moves to America. So Devika, this is a big mess that created, and it's very unfortunate that one man sitting in that Oval Office has the power to ruin the global order which he's doing. And for us, as Ambassador Mukherjee rightly said, we don't need to inherit these problems. We've got too many of our own, and we need to work on other things with dealing with this man and the issue of Pakistan, or the way Bangladesh they have interfered, or are part of the region. So I think this is something that we don't need to worry about. America seriously has a problem. As I say, Houston, we do have a big problem. Thank you, Devika.
All right, Dr. Martan Jha, bringing you into the conversation as well. I want to understand from your perspective, the sort of narrative building that is taking place in America. Firstly, what do you think of that? And also, it's pretty ironic, right? As Mr. Lali pointed out, it's really unfortunate, the shooting that's taken place close to the White House. But there are shootings that happen in America almost on a daily basis. I don't see any of these people ever talking about that. None of them care about the school shootings. None of them care about the fact that America today is known the world over as a place where your children cannot securely go to school. They don't want to talk about that, and they just want to. The Trump administration's entire focus has been on this narrative of illegal aliens who've come into America. What really is the end goal here? What's the end game?
See, I have a contrarian viewpoint to my esteemed colleagues. My question is, why do Indians want to go and live in America? Firstly. Secondly, I also condemn the kind of language that Trump has used. Both are equally true. And I explain both of these points one by one. See, when the intelligentsia of the country wants to go and settle in other state, another nation state, what does it tell you about your own country? Why do they not want to come and live and reside in India permanently? I agree that Indians have built a lot in America. America says that it's a country of immigrants. But when you see that there's a paradigm shift in the American politics, something has fundamentally changed the system. Why do Indians still want to continue there? If we build our institutions in India, very good institutions, great institutions, as they say in the literature of IR, institution building leads to great power making. I'm sorry to say, but India is yet to make, great institutions yet. It's been over 75 years since we have been independent, but still the cream of our country wants to go abroad and settle. That is the core question that we need to discuss. How long are we going to discuss that? Why are Americans saying this about us? Why are white people saying this about us? They are saying this about us because they know that we want to settle there, right? If we would have great institutions like China built for their citizens, we would not be talking in the same lines as we are doing today. Now, the focus should be that India should actually become a developed nation. And for that to happen, you need to invest a lot of money into making colleges, especially colleges in science education. I have always said that Indian Institute of Technology is not an institution of science, it is an institution of technology. The kind of sciences that we used to have back in the 50s and 60s in the normal colleges across India, I'm sad to see the current state of affairs. It is deteriorating, and that's why the good students in India, anyone who can afford to go out is going out from India. That is the thing.
Yes.
That's my assumption.
That's a very, very genuine thought and question. But Surinder Lali wants to respond to that. Surinder Lali, go ahead.
Devika, I think what Mr. Jha says makes a very good academic, bookish argument. It's a global world. Even if we don't immigrate, we'll create GCCs, technologies there. Now look at us. We're all sitting thanks to technology in the comfort of our homes without, leaving, taking our cars and going to studios and wasting time and the gasoline and the ozone layer, and we're having such an informed discussion. So I think while it makes a great academic argument, and by the way, if we immigrated, they did no favors to us. If they paid us $100,000, we created wealth worth $1 billion plus for their companies. So I'm not too sure. And plus, I've always taken reservation or exception to the India-China comparison. I mean, you can't compare an apple to an orange. You can't compare the kind of democracy and the kind of civil liberties and the rights we live in with China. You can't have the cake and eat it. So my limited point is that it's a global village, even if I don't go. I mean, there's a stand-up comedian who says that now Indians don't even need to come to America to take our jobs. They can only simply do that by the call centers in Gurgaon. So I don't think that argument holds a lot of water now. It's just that we have to understand, I mean, if you make any car in America, all the, at least 5 continents are involved in this. So you can't today say that you can't come to my home and I can't come to your home. We have to live in a cohesive manner, be it a family state country or a federal structure. So they called us for their needs. They didn't do us no favor.
Okay.
And we went there for our needs because we didn't have the institutes. We were a young country which had just gotten independent.
Yes.
I mean, you can create a first world or a second world nation, but that doesn't happen overnight, Devika.
Yes,
We're
yes.
still the 5th largest out of the 195
But Mr. Lali, the
countries.
thing is that when we talk about living in a global village, we come from the ethos of Vasudev Kutumbakam, right? That the world is one family. That's what we've grown up with. We want everyone to succeed and do well. That's really not how the West has functioned, and it's pretty clear. History tells you that they will come, they will loot you once again and they'll go. They'll cut you 1,000 times again and go, and they're not going to bat an eyelid over it. Ambassador Baswati Mukherjee wants to make a point there as well.
I just wanted to say that what Mr. Jha has said applies correctly to the present situation. It didn't apply, of course, to the situation which we inherited in 1947, because at that time we did not have opportunities, exactly as Mr. Lali has pointed out, for the super successful Indians who became Americans. That's very true. After all, we remember Dr. Khurana, who was given the Nobel Prize in US because we could not give him those opportunities that he required way back in the 60s here in India. But now the situation is different, and I would agree with those who say that now we should create an environment, including by improving our tertiary education, by investing in R&D, to make India a great economic power, exactly the way Deng Xiaoping had said that China will only flex its muscles after it becomes a great economic power. For India to become a great economic power, we need to keep our talented Indians with us in India without putting pressure on them, by creating opportunities for them to contribute. And I'd like to tell you, Devika, that Vasudeva Kutumbakam has a line before it, which many Indians don't remember. The entire quotation is, "It is only for the generous-hearted that the world is one family." I don't see any generosity in the United States of the MAGA-dominated United States.
Okay.
It applies to India because we're generous-hearted. Maybe we need to toughen up a bit, and maybe we should do what Chawan Lao did many decades ago, when he asked talented Chinese to come back and help build the nation. We need to do that also for India. So I would agree with Mr. Jha that the time has come for us to create opportunities for our most talented young Indians to stay here and build our country, and to understand that no matter how great they are in MAGA America, they will always be regarded as third-class citizens. They cannot change their color. They cannot become white. They will always be at the receiving end of racism.
Absolutely. Joyita also wants to make a point there. But Joyita, at the same time, this is actually the core of where the Prime Minister also wants to take the conversation in our country, right? Why do you think he's bringing up Macaulay's education over and over again? Suddenly, that's a theme that he wants to pick up in every speech that he's giving, because somewhere We claim that there has been some sort of a cultural revival in India, that there is some sense of pride, and yes, there might be, but there is still a critical class of Indians that really salivate at the thought and need of Western validation. How do we break away from that? Maybe that's the core of the conversation that we should be having more and more in this country today.
Well, my limited point is, number one, well, people will not be those we are talking about, that critical class, or there is an actual, I would say, in fact, if you anybody educated, slightly highly educated and all, there is a need, if they may not be going to the US, if you talk to parents and all, you will see they are all talking about fine, maybe even Singapore is a possibility, maybe the UK is a problem, maybe so many people are now looking at Singapore. It matters to a lot of people. I am not talking about that immigration part, you know, why we should immigrate and all, that's a different issue.
हींग देना वो वाली MDH की सुपर हींग।
जिन्होंने यूज किया है वो जानते हैं असली हींग का स्वाद।
MDH सुपर हींग, शुद्धता का असली तड़का।
असली मसाले सच सच MDH।
धरती आबा भगवान बिरसा मुंडा की 150वीं जयंती और झारखंड राज्य के 25 वर्ष पूरे होने के उपलक्ष्य में 15 से 16 नवंबर 2025 को राज्य भर में भव्य 2 दिवसीय महोत्सव मनाया गया, जिससे पूरे राज्य में उत्सव सा माहौल रहा। के इस महोत्सव में पूरे राज्य में खुशी और उमंग की लहर दिखाई दी।
आज ये 25 साल का उत्सव जरूर है, लेकिन मेरा ये मानना है कि ये 25 साल नहीं, अगला 25 साल 2050 में ये झारखंड प्रदेश कैसा होगा, उसकी परिकल्पना हम कर रहे हैं।
सस्ते वाले दाल मसाले स्वाद हुआ बेकार, MDH की हल्दी मिर्ची धनिया करे कमाल। ये रंग दे, ये खुशबू दे, ये तीखा, ये कम पड़े, क्या निराला MDH मसाला।
MDH का किचन किंग किचन में हो तो हम सब कुछ बना सकते हैं। बैंगन का भरता, आलू गोभी, भिंडी मसाला और भी बहुत कुछ।
MDH
the judiciary.
All right, breaking news coming in from Manipur. This is a developing story. Terrorists have fired upon Assam Rifles troops near the Myanmar border is what we are learning. Firing has been reported in Tengnupal district of Manipur. Assam Rifles troops have retaliated and the operation continues. We have been told that 3 Assam Rifles personnel have been injured in this attack and have been evacuated. Nibir, my colleague, is joining us on the broadcast to give us more details about this. Nibir, from the limited information that we have right now, what more can you tell us as to what the situation is at this point in time? Nibir, if you're there with us. Nibir, are you there with us?
Yes, Vineet.
Nibir, let us know what is the situation at this point in time. Terrorists have been firing upon Assam Rifle troops at this point in time is what we know. What can you tell us?
Well, absolutely. The militants were fired upon an Assam Rifles troop near the Myanmar border. This is in the Tengnopal district of Manipur, and the Assam Rifles troops also retaliated, wherein the operation continued throughout the day. And we're getting to know that 3 Assam Rifles troopers have been injured, but they have evacuated from the plane and now been given for preliminary medical examination and medical aid. However, the operation continues in the nearby Myanmar border area of the Tengnopal district in Manipur.
Nibir, thank you for that.
Cricket Neta who came from Burkis. Imran's whereabouts still mystery. Sister assaulted outside court. Son demands proof of life. This is the family of Imran Khan.
All right, Imran Khan's family story is often overshadowed by the turbulence of his political life. But to understand the question that Pakistan keeps returning to, does Imran Khan have a successor? It is necessary to understand the web of relationships, lineage and personalities that surround him. Hello and welcome. You are watching Explained by Newsx. My name is Vineet Malhotra. Today we are discussing Imran Khan's family tree. And if at all Imran is assassinated, who is the likely successor? To remind the viewers, the theory of Imran Khan's assassination is not far-fetched in Pakistan right now. Rumours about the death of Imran Khan, who is jailed in Adiala jail in Rawalpindi right now, are surfacing online. This happened after a source-based Afghan media report claimed he had been assassinated, and that went viral. His family has alleged that he has been kept in solitary confinement in a death cell and that they have not been allowed to meet him for weeks. Meanwhile, Adiala jail authorities have dismissed the rumours, stating that Imran Khan is in completely good health. Now, Imran Khan's son, Qasim Khan, has demanded proof of life and his father's release. In a post on X, he noted that it has been 845 days since Imran Khan was jailed and said that the former Prime Minister has spent the past 1.5 months in a death cell with no family contact. He warns that the Pakistani government and its handlers will be held accountable for Imran Khan's safety. Additionally, he has urged the international community and global human rights groups to intervene, demand proof of life, enforce access and end what he calls inhumane isolation of Pakistan's most popular political leader. Imran's 3 sisters, Alima Khan, Noreen Niazi and Dr. Uzma Khan, are also proactively trying to meet Imran Khan and protesting outside the Adiala jail. It was also alleged by Imran Khan's party, PTI, that the sisters were manhandled by jail police and refused to see their brother. The heightened involvement of Imran Khan's family in speaking out today feels unusual and strikingly, especially in Pakistan's current political climate. That's because Imran Khan, unlike many South Asian leaders, never built his career around creating a political dynasty. His life and legacy have always been deeply personal, rooted in his charisma and individual appeal rather than family power. And it is precisely this non-familial nature of his politics that makes the question of succession far more complex and far more critical. Imran Khan's rise began long before politics on the cricket field, where he became a national icon and led Pakistan to its historic 1992 World Cup victory. His commanding presence, strategic mindset and ability to inspire a team under pressure made him one of the most celebrated captains in South Asian sporting history. When he entered politics in 1996, he carried the same charisma with him, the image of a fearless leader who could unite a divided side and deliver the impossible. Unlike many politicians in the region, Imran Khan came with no political dynasty behind him. His authority was built on personal credibility, fame, discipline, and the trust he had earned through sports. The sporting legacy shaped his political leadership style, his confidence, and his confrontational and rooted in the belief that one determined captain can change the fate of an entire team or even an entire nation. Let's look at his family tree to understand who could really take the reign of PTI after Imran Khan. Born in 1952 to Ikramullah Khan Niazi and Shaukat Khanum, Imran comes from two strong Pashtun lineages. His father belonged to the Niazi tribe of Miawali, a clan with a long martial tradition, while his mother came from the Burki clan, famous for producing cricketers, civil servants and educated professionals. His childhood was shaped by his mix of traditional Pashtun identity, modern education and a family steeped in a social respectability. Imran's father, Ikramullah, was a civil engineer who graduated from the Imperial College London in 1946 and was a student of the IMESH. He died on the 19th March 2008 at the age of 85 from pneumonia after a protracted illness. Imran's mother, Shaukat Khanum, was a housewife. Imran credits his mother as having played a deep influential role in his upbringing, recalling that he grew up with religion, with his mother teaching him Islamic history through bedtime stories. In 1985, she died at the age of 63 due to cancer. The helplessness and personal experience of seeing his mother diagnosed with cancer motivated Khan to build a cancer hospital in Pakistan for those who could not afford expensive care or could not be treated well. In 1994, the Shaukat Khanum Memorial Cancer Hospital and Research Centre was founded by Khan in Lahore and named in memory of his mother. His parents raised 5 children, 4 daughters and 1 son. Imran was the only boy. This matters because unlike political families in the subcontinent where sons and daughters are groomed from a childhood to take on public roles, the Khan household was not designed to produce political heirs. It produced instead doctors, professionals and entrepreneurs and socially conscious women, but not politicians. Rubina, the eldest, studied at the London School of Economics and went on to hold a senior post in a UN organization. Alina Khanum is an entrepreneur and philanthropist who is the founder of a Lahore-based textile buying house, Kotcom Sourcing Private Limited. She graduated with an MBA from the Lahore University of Management Sciences in 1989. Her textile buying house has served textile retailers and agents across the globe and maintains representatives and offices in Karachi and New York. Uzma trained as a surgeon and built her medical career in Lahore. Rani engaged in social welfare activities and supported family causes from the background. What is striking is that none of these women ever attempted to convert their social stature into political capital. They frequently appear in media stories, defending their brother, demanding fair treatment, commenting on political developments, but they have not pursued office, party posts or public campaigns. The next and natural question for Pakistan is about Imran Khan's children. Many assume that if there is a successor, he would come from this generation. But this assumption too meets an immediate wall. In 1995, Imran married Jemima Goldsmith, a British heiress, writer and philanthropist, in a Pakistani wedding ceremony in Paris. The marriage was widely covered in the international media and was named by the media as the wedding of the century. At the time, Jemima's father was Sir James Goldsmith, one of the richest men in the UK. The couple had 2 sons, Suleiman Isa Khan and Qasim, born in 1996 and 1999. When Imran entered frontline politics, his sons were still very young, and after the divorce in 2004, they returned to London with their mother. Imran remained deeply involved in their lives, but they grew up far from Pakistan culturally, socially and politically. Their connection to the country became emotional and personal, not political. Even when they applied for visas to visit Pakistan in 2025, government officials warned that foreign nationals cannot take part in protests or political rallies. Imran Khan married Rahman Khan, British Pakistani journalist and television anchor, in 2015. This marriage only lasted for 9 months and ended in October 2015. His third marriage to Bushra Bibi in 2018 connected him to a family with roots in Punjab's Sufi and spiritual circles. Bushra has 2 sons and 3 daughters, to whom Imran is a stepfather, from a first marriage to Khawar Manka. That means the only direct heirs of Imran Khan are Suleiman and Qasim. The extended family, cousins, uncles, influential tribal figures are often brought up when people discuss Imran's legacy. None of these extended relatives have emerged as a political force within PTI. The party has not created a family network of power. There are occasional claims on social media about cousins or nephews who might have political ambitions, but none has demonstrated national appeal, ideological clarity, or the trust of PTI supporters. Thus, when one steps back, the picture becomes clear. There is no heir waiting in the wings, neither from his sisters, nor from his sons, nor from his extended family. In a political culture used to hereditary power, the Bhuttos, Zardaris and Sharifs, the Chaudhrys, Imran Khan stands out as a leader whose family is almost entirely absent from political succession. That brings us to the real center of the debate. If Imran Khan were to be assassinated or legally barred from politics for life, who would take over? There are senior figures in the party like Shah Mahmood Qureshi, Asad Umar Ali Muhammad Khan, but none have ever commanded nationwide enthusiasm. PTI, the party Imran Khan founded, grew and embodied, was built around his charisma, his language of justice, his personal credibility and his cult-like mass following. Suleiman and Qasim lacked the linguistic fluency, cultural grounding, institutional experience and network necessary for Pakistani electoral politics. They were raised far from Pakistan's political trenches and have shown no inclination to enter them. Ultimately, the story of Imran Khan's family tree is the story of a man who built a political movement without building a dynasty. And that is why the biggest unanswered question in Pakistan today is not just about Imran Khan's fate, it is about who comes after him and whether PTI can ever survive without him.
Cricket Neta who came from Purkis. Imran's whereabouts still mystery. Sister assaulted outside court. Son demands proof of life. This is the family of Imran Khan.
Alright, some breaking news coming in. Khyber Pakhtunkhwa Chief Minister Suhail Afridi has announced on the party's live stream that the sit-in was being wrapped up and that he would now approach the Islamabad High Court. Afridi accused authorities of using such tactics to break the spirit of the former Prime Minister Imran Khan. Earlier, Suhail Afridi staged an overnight sit-in outside the jail after being denied a meeting with Khan for the 8th consecutive time. He also alleged that Imran's wife, Bushra Bibi, who is a pious woman, was being targeted in an attempt to break Imran. Ajay Jandyal, my colleague, joins us on the broadcast to talk more about this. Ajay, though the Adiala jail authorities have given a statement that Imran Khan is healthy, there is nothing wrong with him, it is baffling that they would not allow anyone from either his family or his party to have a word with him. There's definitely something, like they say in Hindi, dal mein kala.
You rightly said, because this is the reason that family members and the supporter of the Imran Khan's PTI, they are continuously protesting outside the jail, and they are continuously saying that they should be allowed to meet Prime Minister Imran Khan. Not only party workers, if not party workers, then the family members, his sister, his son, they should be allowed to meet the former Prime Minister Imran Khan. So when he was not, they are not allowed. It means the suspicion arises among the people and the followers that why government is not allowing, because there were rumors in the social media that Imran Khan have died and other things, and that is the reason that they are saying that it seems that he is missing. Something has happened to him, and that's why authorities is not allowing. And we have seen that how former Prime Minister Afridi also said that that this is something really unfortunate, and he says that family members and others should be allowed to meet Imran Khan. And situation in Pakistan is definitely concerning, because authorities are not able to control. Even for last several days, these protests are going on outside the jail, and that is something which is definitely a matter of concern for the authorities as well. They have deputed hundreds of paramilitary forces and the security forces personnel around the jail premises, so that they'll not be able to break the jail over there.
With us, in fact, Rana Sanaullah, advisor to the Pakistani Prime Minister on political affairs, told Pakistani media that Imran was fine and nothing is wrong with him, dismissing social media claims that the 73-year-old's condition had deteriorated. His remarks echoed the Adiala jail administration, which earlier issued a statement saying Imran was in completely good health and that all necessary care is being provided to the PTI chief. But then again, Ajay Dandyal, the big question is, why is a meeting being denied? Obviously, the family and the PTI are going to court, which are largely controlled and intimidated by the government. Is that going to make any difference, Ajay?
As you know, these statements are coming from the government side for last several hours, what we have seen as well. But the thing is that, people, that they clearly saying one thing, that if he's fine, then why his family members are not allowed? And the reason why the people are worried about his health and worried about Imran Khan, why they are protesting outside the jail, it is only because that there was some news in the social media that he's not well, he have died, and other news is over there. So that seems to be the reason. And if Sanaullah is saying that he is fine, then they should have allowed the sisters, family members, son. But no one is allowed to meet Imran Khan. And what has happened that for last several days, no fresh picture or the video of Imran Khan was seen, and that was not circulated. So that seems to be the reason that they are worried. But definitely it is tough. It is going to be tough for the Shahbaz Sharif government. And we have seen that how his advisor Sanala is also giving statement by saying that he is well and then don't go with the rumors. But the thing is that people don't want to, trust on such statement. They just want, Imran Khan, their family, his family members, Imran Khan's family members to be allowed to meet.
I'll just stay with us. PTI leaders, however, renewed their demand for immediate access to the jail party founder, stressing that he has been kept without contact with family members or lawyers for more than 3 weeks. Imran, convicted in a corruption case and serving a 14-year sentence since August 2023, has been at the center of growing concern from supporters and relatives as well. And Ajay, right before the rumors about his death were being circulated, which started from Afghanistan as well, there were protests, there were murmurs of, a lot of activity from PTI supporters across Pakistan. Do you think that could have been a reason or the motivation behind the government in trying to keep Imran Khan from any kind of a limelight as far as possible, to keep calm and keep quiet?
See, one thing is very clear that, Shahbaz Sharif's party and other has to go for the election in Pakistan. And they have seen that how Imran Khan, even when he's in the jail, how he is going continuously, his popularity is increasing day by day. And that they must be, feeling it. And what we have seen in the past as well, that there is a history in Pakistan that anyone can be removed, anyone can be sent to jail, anyone can be killed. So that's why, that there is a speculation. There is a tense situation because the party people as well as the family members, they have seen that news that which started traveling from Afghanistan to all over the world, including Pakistan. So that seems to be the reason that they are worried, and they say that PTA workers, family members, they should be allowed to meet. And if he is fine, then why government is not allowing the family members?
Well, in recent days, family members and PTI workers have staged demonstrations outside the Adiala jail, urging authorities to allow them to meet him. A PTI delegation that visited the prison again today was turned away, with officials declining access for the second time this week. Supporters gathered in large numbers, raising slogans against the jail authorities and demanding immediate access for Khan's relatives. Imran Khan's health mystery has also deepened as his sister Alima Khan has filed a contempt petition in the Islamabad High Court, accusing Adiala jail authorities of repeatedly denying her access despite clear judicial orders. Ajay, what do these judicial orders mean in a country like Pakistan, where Asim Munir, who's the de facto ruler of Pakistan, is making all the necessary rules and regulations? He obviously had a bone to pick with Imran Khan as well, and all of that is being associated with what happened between Asim Munir and Imran Khan.
Major concern of Imran Khan is for the Asim Munir only, because they know that top process of Pakistani army, they had a very bad experience as far as the Imran Khan government is concerned, because we have seen that how Imran Khan was removed from the power, it is only because that Pakistani army was not basically, in favor of Imran Khan. Earlier they were in favor, but when Imran Khan took some decision and some steps that doesn't suit to Pakistan army, that's why he was removed. And Shahbaz Sharif, he came to power even when his name was nowhere. So that seems to be the reason that Pakistani army, they don't want Imran Khan to be popular. And in the coming days, you never know that Asim Munir, he is a de facto, Prime Minister of Pakistan. He could join as a President of Pakistan, like what we have seen in the past as well. So there are possibilities that he must be planning to topple the Shahbaz Sharif government, and he has already have enough powers with him. And we have seen the amendment as well. As far as the judiciary is concerned, we know that nothing is powerful than army in Pakistan. So whether it is a judiciary or the government and the Prime Minister as well, they hardly matters. This is the only Pakistani army who can decide the future of any Prime Minister, any leader over there in Pakistan.
Ajay, stay with us. In Pakistan's Minister of State for Interior, Talal Chaudhary, has assured Parliament that Imran Khan is in good health and receiving facilities like a personal chef, but uncertainty persists as no family member or party leader has been allowed to meet him for weeks now. Over 700 security personnel have been deployed around Adiala jail as rumours about Imran Khan's health fuel public anxiety, prompting large gatherings of PTI workers demanding proof of his safety and access to their detained leader. Ajay, will we get to see a situation where most of these PTI workers are rushed away from this particular spot, or do you think that the courts will be able to do anything when it comes to Imran Khan being able to meet anyone from his party or family?
See, this seems to be the only reason that Imran Khan's family members are not allowed, and that seems to be the only reason that people are protesting over there in outside the jail as well. What we have seen that protesters, they are continually there. Hundreds of police personnel and the security forces personnel have been deployed outside the jail to cater the situation, because we have seen that only a few hours back there was a attempt to break the jail as well, but that was foiled by the security forces. So after that, additional troops have been deployed over there. And Shahbaz Sharif government and Asim Munir knows it that if they will not be able to control the situation, that could emerge as the biggest problem for the Pakistan, because they know that what is going on in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, what is going on in Gilgit-Baltistan, Balochistan, POK. They know that if they will not be able to handle the situation right now, Imran Khan's party is going to be most threatening thing for them in Pakistan. So that's why they have deployed enough number of troops over there to control the situation.
All right, PTI Senator Ali Zafar has backed the government's assertions but maintained that meeting was urgently needed to verify Imran's condition firsthand. He added that PTI had raised the matter in the Senate and urged Minister of State for Interior Talal Chaudhary to facilitate a visit. On the other hand, PTI Central Information Secretary Waqas Akram also pushed back against what he described as misleading narratives, insisting the government cannot harm Imran Khan. Ajay, what do we get to see in the next few days? Will Imran Khan get an audience with whom he wants, or do you think this stalemate is going to continue?
See, if he is fine, then this is the only solution for the Pakistani government, that they have to allow Pakistani, PTA workers as well as the family members of Imran Khan to meet him. Otherwise, they don't have any other option, because the way this news is spreading all over the Pakistan, that is also going to, create trouble for the government and the Pakistani army as well, because the workers, those who love Imran Khan, those who have followed the PTI and Imran Khan, they are continuously starting gathering over there outside the jail as well as on the different cities as well. So this is only the way by which they can cater the situation and they can pacify the things over there. But if they will not do the same, it means that something has happened to Imran Khan. That is the reason that they are avoiding it.
Ajay, thank you for joining us. Well, the Election Commission of India has issued a sharp and point-wise rebuttal to all apprehensions and what it calls baseless allegations made by the AITC delegation. The Election Commission has asked the party to submit claims and objections only after December 9th, when the draft electoral rolls will be released, making it clear that until then, political parties must not interfere with the independent functioning of BLOs, EROS and DOs who are state government employees on election duty. In a strong move, the Election Commission has shot off a letter to the DGP of West Bengal and the Kolkata Police Commissioner directing them to ensure that BLOs are not pressurized, intimidated or threatened by political workers. The poll body has also instructed all district election officers to set up a new polling station in slums, high-rise buildings and gated communities, similar to arrangements being made across India as per Election Commission guidelines. Following recent security breaches at the office of the Chief Electoral Officer of West Bengal, the ECI has ordered the CEO's office to be shifted to a more secure location. It has also directed the Kolkata Police Commissioner to guarantee full security at both the existing and the new office. The Commission has warned the AITC delegation not to influence or intimidate BLOs regarding entries of dead, shifted or duplicate voters. Manohar Keshri, my colleague, joins us on the broadcast to talk more about this. Manohar, अगर आप मेरी आवाज़ सुन पा रहे हैं? मनोहर, कड़ी चेतावनी दी गई है चुनाव आयोग की तरफ से कि किसी भी तरह की बदतमीजी या किसी भी तरह से इस पूरी प्रणाली को छेड़ना गैरकानूनी होगा।
देखिए, बिल्कुल आज टीएमसी के 10 साल से डेलीगेशन चुनाव आयोग से गया था। करीब लंबी दौर की बैठक चली और बैठक में टीएमसी की ओर से 5 सवाल पूछे गए थे और ऐसे में अब चुनाव आयोग ने पॉइंट सभी का जवाब दिया है। सबसे बड़ी बात यह है कि चुनाव आयोग ने साफ तौर से कह दिया है कि टीएमसी को कि आप जो है तो वोटर्स को न तो धमकाएंगे और न ही उन्हें डराएंगे, चाहे वो डेड वोटर्स की बात हो या शिफ्टेड किए वोटर्स की बात हो या फिर हम वैसे वोटर्स की बात करें जिनका जो है इसी आर्गुमेंट ऑफ विशेष हो। तो ऐसे में सबसे
चलिए, मनोहर, इस जानकारी के लिए आपका शुक्रिया। वी टेक अ शॉर्ट ब्रेक ऑन दैट नोट, बी राइट बैक।
आपके घर के खाने में रेस्टोरेंट जैसा स्वाद ले आए MDH का शाही पनीर मसाला। पनीर को क्या मस्त बना डाला।
अब झारखंड के युवाओं को मिलेगा अपने सपनों को आसमान से आगे ले जाने का मौका।
आज यहाँ का नौजवान हवाई जहाज में भी चढ़ेगा और हवाई जहाज भी उड़ाएगा,
क्योंकि मुख्यमंत्री हेमंत सोरेन के प्रयास से हो चुका है झारखंड फ्लाइंग ट्रेनिंग इंस्टीट्यूट का शुभारंभ, जहां युवाओं को राज्य में ही मिलेगा कमर्शियल पायलट बनने का प्रशिक्षण। दुमका हवाई अड्डा स्थित इस प्रशिक्षण केंद्र में प्रतिवर्ष 30 प्रशिक्षुओं को कमर्शियल पायलट की ट्रेनिंग दी जाएगी। साथ ही राज्य सरकार द्वारा 15 आरक्षित प्रशिक्षुओं को मिलेगा बिल्कुल निःशुल्क प्रशिक्षण। इस फ्लाइंग ट्रेनिंग इंस्टीट्यूट में प्रशिक्षुओं को मल्टी इंजन रेटिंग कमर्शियल पायलट ट्रेनिंग के साथ साथ कमर्शियल पायलट लाइसेंस भी प्राप्त कराया जाएगा। करने अपनी मुट्ठी में सारा आसमान, अब झारखंड के युवा भी भरेंगे ऊंची उड़ान।
दादी के हाथों का जादू और खुशबू से महकता घर। MDH गरम मसाला, असली मसालों से भरा हूँ मैं,
क्योंकि हर रिश्ता है स्वाद से जुड़ा।
Hello and welcome to Newsx and Newsx World. This is the world of sports, and today I have with me in our Delhi studios very special guests. Yes, we have the champions of the world. I am talking about the Indian women's cricket team for the blind. They are, ladies and gentlemen, the champions. Yes, what a streak we've had when it comes to cricket. And once again, we have a team that has made us so proud. I am talking right now from our studios in New Delhi with the winners of the T20 World Cup Cricket for the Blind women's category. Absolutely amazing. सबसे पहले तो तालियां हो जाएं आप सबके लिए जो आपने आज भारत के लिए करके दिखाया है. Thank you so much. viewers, they've not just won a World Cup, okay? They have etched their names and the name of our country in history. They have exceeded all expectations. They've conquered all expectations. And without taking further time, I want to now begin by introducing our wonderful champions, our wonderful women in blue. With me today in our studio is the captain. She's Deepika TC. She hails from the state of Karnataka, and she lost her vision as a baby, but today she's the captain of the Indian women's cricket team. What an achievement. Deepika, thank you so much for being with us. Next to her is Miss V. Chandu, the coach. Of course, without the coach, this would not be possible. So V. Chandu ji, aapka bhi bahut bahut swagat hai to Newsx, Newsx World and India News as well. Then we have Anu Kumari. She comes from rural Bihar, you know, where opportunities were almost non-existent, but today Anu is a world champion. Anu, welcome. Next to her is Karuna Kumari. She's just 15. She was born completely blind in Visakhapatnam, Andhra Pradesh. She dropped out of school, but her teachers fortunately brought her back. Imagine, viewers, today she has scored 42 runs against Nepal in the final that helped India clinch this trophy that you see before you. Round of applause for Karuna. Then we have Jamuna Rani as well. She hails from a poor tribal family in Mayurbhanj in Odisha. Jamuna ji, thoda sa kuch wave kar dijiye hamare darshakon ko taki unhe pata chale ki aap kaun hain. Round of applause for Jamuna as well. Hamare saath hain Kavya V. She was also born completely blind. She's from Shivamogga, Karnataka, and today a world champion. Sunita Sarhate joins us from the state of Madhya Pradesh. Sunita is a graduate. She went to college, jobs try kari, until she discovered her passion, her true passion, which is cricket, and she's also a world champion. Next to her is Anekha Devi. She hails from Kathua, Jammu. And besides cricket, viewers, she's also a 5-time national judo champion. A round of applause for our champions. Then we have Basanti Hansta. She comes from a tribal background of Odisha. She's worked in the farmlands as well. But imagine today, she was player of the match in India's victory against Australia. What a critical team it was to win against. Next to her is, we have Parbanti as well. She's another tribal warrior from Odisha. She chose education and cricket against all odds. And wow, what a payoff that's been. We have Simranjeet Kaur as well. She's the first ever blind woman to play for the national blind team from the state of Rajasthan. And she's a world champion today. Kavya NR from Karnataka. Unfortunately blinded at the age of 5 in a playground accident. And imagine, she was forbidden from playing, but today she's a World Cup winner. And how proud everyone must be of her. We also have Durga Yevle from Madhya Pradesh. She made her way to the national team through the cricket camps and sheer talent hunts. And today she's a world champion. Next to them is Miss Rajshri. She's the physiotherapist of the women's cricket team. Thank you so much once again to all our women in blue for being here. Introductions तो चलती रहेंगी. आप लोग भी इन्हें और जानेंगे hopefully in the future और समझेंगे. पर हम आज एक कोशिश करेंगे थोड़ी बहुत इन्हें जानने की, समझने की. तो सबसे पहले तो मैं चंदू जी से बात करना चाहूँगी. आपसे समझना चाहेंगे, जब ये मोमेंट आया, जब रियलाइज हो गया, पता चल गया कि अब तो ये कप हमारा ही है, अब हम भारत वापस जाएंगे इस ट्रॉफी के साथ, वो मोमेंट कैसा था एज अ कोच?
शुरुआत से ही था हम लोग को कि ये हमारे पास ही आने वाला है. जब ये पता पड़ा कि सबसे मतलब बेस्ट मोमेंट में ये बोलूँगी कि ये जैसे ही ख़त्म हुआ, मैंने पहले कॉल मेरी मम्मी को किया था मैंने, तो उससे उनको कुछ देखते हुए मुझे और कुछ एक्स्ट्रा मैं सोचती भी नहीं हूँ. पहले चीज़ मेरे को मम्मी से बात हुआ और मेरा बस हो गया उधर ही, सब चीज़ें सेटिस्फेक्शन हो गया सब चीज़ों का.
तो मम्मी का रिएक्शन क्या था? मैं एक्चुअली काफ़ी नोटिस करी हूँ, मम्मियाँ बहुत क्रिकेट देखती है ना इंडिया में.
यस,
है ना?
यस,
बहुत नोटिस करा है मैंने, क्योंकि मेरी मदर को भी सडनली क्रिकेट का इतना शौक है. मैं जब उनके कमरे में जाती हूँ, पुराने मैच देख रही होती हैं, हाइलाइट्स देख रही होती हैं, बस क्रिकेट देखती हैं पूरा दिन।
एक्चुअली मेरे से ज़्यादा प्लेयर्स का नाम उनको पता है, इंक्लूडिंग मेंस टीम्स का पता है उनको। मेरे को पता नहीं कब चल रहा है मैच, पर वो लगा के बैठी होंगे, देखते रहते हैं।
And what a moment it must have been, you know,
Yes.
even for all of you. थोड़ा सा सबसे समझना चाहेंगे दीपिका, अगर आप भी हमें थोड़ा सा बताएं कि जब मैंने देखा था कि जब ये तय हो गया कि अब तो कप आपका है और आप लोग सब जा रहे थे, आपका एक बड़ा इमोशनल इंटरव्यू था जो वायरल हुआ था, जिसमें आपने कहा था कि ये जीत उन सब के लिए है जिन्होंने हम में इतने साल विश्वास दिखाया। वो लोग कौन हैं जिन्होंने विश्वास दिखाया और क्या समर्थन रहा है किन लोगों का कि आज आप वर्ल्ड चैंपियन बने हैं?
हम विन होने के बाद हम पूरा टीम पूरा इमोशनल हो गया, लेकिन हम पूरा बहुत मेहनत किया, बहुत स्ट्रगल किया, लेकिन हमारा 16 प्लेयर्स को ज़्यादा प्रॉब्लम है उन लोगों को घर में, और उन लोग पूरा गांव में बात करते हैं, तुम ब्लाइंड है, तुम क्या करते, तुम कुछ भी नहीं करते, ऐसे पूरा नेगेटिव बात करते। उन लोगों को आज हमारा पूरा लड़की लोग उन लोगों को आंसर दिया और प्रूव किया हमारा लड़की लोग। रियली आई प्राउड ऑफ माय टीम, मेरे को बहुत सपोर्ट किया। मैं कैप्टन एक बार मेरे को पूरा कंफ्यूज आते हैं, वो लोग किसी को बाहर बैठोंगे, किसी को अंदर ले लेंगे, इतना अच्छा खेलते हैं सब प्लेयर। मैं चंद मैम को साथ में बात करते, मैम भी ऐसे बोलते मेरे डिसीजन नहीं ले लूँगी, इतना अच्छे से खेलते हैं, मैं तुम खुद से डिसीजन ले लो, ऐसे पूरा मेरे साथ बात किया। और हमारा लड़की लोग रियली आई प्राउड ऑफ देम, हमारा पापा मम्मी, हमारा देश को। और मैं ये वर्ल्ड कप में सोल्जर को डेडिकेट करती हूँ। मैं बहुत मेहनत करते हैं सोल्जर्स हम लोगों को, अभी मैं हम इतना अच्छे से सेफ है ना उन लोगों कारण सोल्जर से। और समर्थनम कैबी महंते सर बहुत मेहनत किया हम लोगों को। वर्ल्ड कप कंटेंट करने के छोटा बात नहीं है, बड़ा बात है,
बहुत बड़ी बात है
हम लोगों को। और कर्नाटका गवर्नमेंट आल्सो ज़्यादा सपोर्ट किया हमको, और SBI और इंडसइंड बैंक लोग सपोर्ट किया, और हम लोगों को ऐसे सपोर्ट करते हैं और हम वर्ल्ड कप लेके आते हो भारत को।
एब्सोल्युटली। मैं थोड़ा सा प्लेयर्स से भी अब समझना चाहूँगी, क्योंकि देखिए जैसे दीपिका ने बताया कि लोग हैं, लोग तो ताने मारते ही हैं और बहुत सी चीज़ें कही होंगी, बहुत डीमोटिवेट करने की कोशिश करी होगी और बहुत ये कहा होगा कि नहीं क्योंकि तुम थोड़ा सा अलग हो दूसरों से तो तुम्हें कुछ और ही करना पड़ेगा, सोसाइटी में तुम्हारे लिए इतनी कोई अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ नहीं है, जगह नहीं है। बाय द वे ये आपके सामने लाइव एग्जाम्पल है व्यूअर्स अपॉर्चुनिटी का। इसे कहते हैं जब हम किसी में बिलीव करते हैं, किसी को समर्थन देते हैं तो वो वर्ल्ड चैम्पियन बन जाते हैं आगे जाकर। तो ये एक लाइव उदाहरण है उन माँ बाप के लिए, उन लोगों के लिए सोसाइटी में जिन्हें लगता है कि ओहो कुछ हो गया, कोई डिसेबिलिटी आ गई या कोई डिफरेंट एबिलिटी आ गई तो बस अब दुनिया ख़त्म है। दुनिया ख़त्म नहीं है, दुनिया तो यहाँ से शुरू होती है। तो ये बहुत बड़ी बात है। बट अनिका आपसे मैं समझना चाहूँगी कि जैसे दीपिका ने कहा कि लोग बोलते थे, चीज़ें बोलते थे, तो वो एक बड़ा इमोशनल सफ़र रहा होगा आप सबके लिए, एक बड़ी इमोशनल जर्नी है, राइट? कि लोगों की बातें सुनने के बावजूद हमने आज कुछ ऐसा कर दिखाया कि अब हम जब घर जाते हैं तो आई एम श्योर लोग कहते होंगे अच्छा अनिका वो तो हमारे बगल में रहती थी, हमारे सामने बड़ी हुई है, राइट? ऐसी चीज़ें होती हैं। बड़ा इमोशनल सफ़र रहा है। हमारे दर्शकों को क्या बताएंगी आप उसके बारे में, थोड़ा सा बस अपने बैकग्राउंड के बारे में, अपने सफ़र के बारे में?
मैम मेरे को भी मतलब जैसे दीपिका ने बताया कि बहुत स्ट्रगल किया है हमने, तो मेरे गांव में भी मुझे ऐसा ही बोलते थे कि मतलब बहुत बुरा बोलते थे कि लड़की को तुमने अपने, मेरे मम्मी पापा को बोलते थे कि तुमने क्यों भेजा है इतनी दूर, और तुम्हें क्या पता कि तुम्हारी लड़की क्या कर रही है वहाँ जाके, बाहर जाके, क्या पता कहाँ रहती है, तो तुम ऐसे भेज रहे हो, लड़की को क्यों भेज रहे हो? तो फिर मम्मा को भी लगता था कि लोग ऐसे बोल रहे हैं तो मुझे नहीं भेजना चाहिए। तो फिर मम्मा भी बोलते कि तू रहने दे, मत पढ़ाई कर या मत खेल। तो फिर मतलब जब पेरेंट्स ऐसे बोलने लगे तो फिर मतलब क्या ही कर सकता है इंसान। तो फिर मेरे जो चाचू हैं उन्होंने मेरे पेरेंट्स को समझाया। तो पापा सपोर्ट करते थे मेरे को, पर मम्मा नहीं मानते थे। तो फिर उन्होंने पापा को समझाया मेरे चाचू ने, तो फिर उन्होंने मेरे को उसके बाद सपोर्ट करने लगे। मेरे को 1 साल हुआ है सिर्फ क्रिकेट खेलते हुए। तो मैंने फर्स्ट नेशनल खेला, उसमें मेरे को प्लेयर ऑफ द मैच मिला था। तो फिर उसके बाद पापा को भी लगा कि नहीं, मतलब अगर कुछ मतलब इसको मौका मिलेगा तो शायद आगे जाए ये। तो फिर उन्होंने मेरे को सपोर्ट करना स्टार्ट किया। तो उसके बाद मेरा वर्ल्ड कप के लिए सिलेक्शन हुआ था। तो आज हम वर्ल्ड कप लेके। यस मैम, अभी तो बहुत ज़्यादा खुश हैं।
वाओ। पर ये जो कहानियाँ मैं सुन रही हूँ, ऑफ कोर्स ये अब आपकी एक दूसरी फैमिली बन चुके हैं सब, राइट? आई एम श्योर इतना आप लोग साथ में उठते हैं, बैठते हैं, खाना खाते हैं, सब कुछ साथ में करते हैं, बिल्कुल बहनों की तरह रहते होंगे। आई एम श्योर झगड़े भी बहनों की तरह ही होते होंगे। फिर मेरी बहन है तो मुझे पता है बहनों में झगड़े भी कितने होते हैं। पर राशि जी, आपसे मैं एक चीज़ समझना चाहूँगी कि बहुत मुश्किल रहा है कुछ बच्चियों के लिए अपने घरों से बाहर निकलना, और ये एक बहुत बड़ा कदम लिया है। एक चीज़ होती है कि चलो स्टेट बोर्ड ने सपोर्ट कर दिया और हमने जाके कहीं थोड़ा बहुत क्रिकेट खेल लिया। ये तो वर्ल्ड चैम्पियन बन गए हैं, इनकी तस्वीरें अब हर जगह हैं। क्या साइकोलॉजिकल सपोर्ट और क्या साइकोलॉजिकल मेंटरिंग आपने करी है, चंदू जी ने करी है इन सब के लिए?
मैम एक्चुअली फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल उनको उनके पेरेंट्स को वो कॉन्फिडेंट देना कि हम हैं साथ में, वो अकेले नहीं होंगे, हम लोग एज अ फैमिली होल टीम है। सो उनको वो समझाना कि आप भेज सकते हो, उनको सेफ़ है, उनकी सेफ्टी का पूरा रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी लेना। मैनेजर है शिखा शेट्टी, चंदू, मैं, हम लोग सब पैरों पे खड़े रहते हैं कि इनको कुछ नहीं होना चाहिए, बिकॉज हमने इनके पेरेंट्स को प्रॉमिस किया है कि हम इनको सेफ रखेंगे फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल। सेकेंड उनको वो वापस साइकोलॉजिकली भी उनको समझाना कि बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है इनके लिए घर से निकलना, सो दैट ये अपना फ्यूचर बिल्ड कर सके आगे। सो वो उनको समझाना, उनको एक्सप्लेन करना कि दुनिया बहुत बड़ी है, यहाँ से निकलेंगे तो और आगे दे कैन अचीव लॉट्स ऑफ थिंग्स, देयर होल वर्ल्ड इन फ्रंट ऑफ देम। सो वो सारी चीज़ें बहुत कन्विंस करना पड़ता है पेरेंट्स को, फैमिलीज़ को, इनको वहाँ से निकालने के लिए। एंड देन यहाँ पर जब साथ में होते हैं तो वो मतलब उनका केयर वगैरह सब कुछ उनको सही रखना, सब कुछ बहुत बड़ी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है।
So I want to take this moment to educate our viewers as well. जो blind cricket होता है उसमें बॉल थोड़ी सी different होती है. It's a hard plastic ball with metal bearings in it, right? And it rattles. So it's through the sound that the players are able to assess the ball. Chandu ji, I want to understand from you, what is the hardest part about the training? सबसे मुश्किल part क्या रहता है training का?
मेरे को लगता है कि जब B1 फील्डिंग करते हैं ना, और जब वो लोग लेटते हैं बॉल के सामने, जब बॉल आ रहा है सुन के, वहाँ पे उनको कभी भी हर्ट हो सकती है, कहीं पे भी लग सकती है उनको। एटलीस्ट B2 और B3 के लिए क्या होता है कि वो जो डिस्टेंस है वो लोग मैनेज कर सकते हैं। मतलब जो B2 है वो अप टू 2 मीटर्स देख सकते हैं और B3 जो है अप टू 6 मीटर्स देख सकते हैं। उनको बचने में थोड़ा हो सकता है।
B1 are completely
blind. At the same time, they'll also have a black spectacles which covers the whole thing. उनको कुछ भी नहीं दिखाई देगा। उस समय में थोड़ा डिफिकल्टी होता है उनको।
ओके, तो अगर दीपिका आप बता पाएँ हमें कैप्टन के तौर पे कि ऐसे भी दिन होते होंगे जब प्रैक्टिस अच्छी नहीं चल रही, या मोटिवेशन डाउन है टीम का, या कुछ एक के बाद एक चीज़ गलत होती जा रही है, तो सब पे वो एक एक साइकोलॉजिकली एक इम्पैक्ट आ जाता है। तो आप एज कैप्टन क्या करती हैं उन सिचुएशंस में टू ब्रिंग द एक मोराल वापस लाने के लिए टीम का?
मैं उनको थोड़ा माइंड, लेकिन मेरे को नहीं होता है, ऐसे पूरा डाउन होते हैं ना माइंड। अभी उन लोगों को साथ में जाके हक करती हूँ। अभी मेरा टीम सब, हम बैटिंग खेलने के जाने दो और फील्डिंग करने दो, वो पूरा हम हक करके हम पूरा मोटिवेट करते हैं सब प्लेयर्स को।
हाउ स्वीट।
On field, off field.
Yes.
If anyone is nervous, just go and give a tight hug or you jumpy. We call it
Wow.
like हम बाहर से चिल्लाते जप्पी दे दो जप्पी दे दो.
How nice. Yeah.
इवन लाइक कुछ होता है तो फिर सबसे पहले इनका ये होता है कि पहले जाके हक कर लो, कान में जो भी बात करना है बात कर लो, सो दैट यू विल गेट वहाँ से डिस्ट्रैक्ट हो जाओगे और थोड़ा एक्स्ट्रा परफॉर्म करोगे.
Yeah, absolutely. And जिस तरह की आपकी परफॉर्मेंस रही है, आप तो पूरा टाइम झप्पी दे रहे होंगे. आई एम अज्यूमिंग.
यस अगर आप ऑब्जर्व करोगे हर एक मैच में आप देखोगे कि हर कोई जब थ्रो करते हैं बाके जाके हक कर रहे हैं, कोई शॉट मारा बाके जाके हक कर रहे हैं.
हाउ स्वीट. सिमरन, आई वांट टू कम टू यू एज वेल. आपसे एक चीज़ पूछना चाहूँगी. कल आप सब प्रधानमंत्री जी से मिले दिल्ली में, तो कैसी रही वो मीटिंग, क्या लगा आपको?
कल हम हमारे प्राइम मिनिस्टर मोदी जी से मिले, तो हमें उनसे मिलके बहुत अच्छा लगा और हमारे लिए बहुत प्राउड मोमेंट था वो. और उन्होंने भी हमसे बहुत अच्छे से बात की, बहुत जैसे घर में पापा बात करते हैं हमसे, इतने प्यार से बात की उन्होंने हमसे. और उन्होंने अपने हाथ से हमको मिठाई खिलाई, तो वो मेरे लिए बहुत एक अच्छा मोमेंट रहा मेरी लाइफ का. तो मुझे बहुत प्राउड फील हुआ जब मैं उनसे मिली, तो बहुत अच्छा लगा.
सुनीता, मैं आपसे भी समझना चाहूँगी, आपसे भी यही सवाल पूछना चाहूँगी कि जब प्रधानमंत्री जी से मिले और उन्होंने ट्रॉफी देखी होगी, सबसे बात करी होगी, तो कैसा लगा? और फिर घर वालों का क्या रिएक्शन था जब आपने बताया होगा कि आज तो हम प्रधानमंत्री जी ने घर पे बुलाया था हमें?
जैसे कि सिमरन ने बताया मैम कि उनसे मतलब बात करके ऐसा लगा कि शायद अपनी जो ग्रैंड फादर होते हैं उनकी तरह उनने बात की. और छोटे से गांव से निकले हुए जो बच्चियां रहती हैं ना, उनके माँ बाप को बहुत प्राउड फील होता है कि नहीं हमारी लड़की, मतलब देखो आज जो हम निकल नहीं सकते वो मतलब बाहर जा रही है, खेल रही है, अच्छा लगता है.
दुर्गा, आपसे भी यही समझना चाहूँगी, सेम क्वेश्चन आपसे पूछना चाहूँगी कि जब देखिए वर्ल्ड कप जीत गए, प्रधानमंत्री जी ने बुलाया, आपसे मिले, तो अब घर में माहौल कैसा है, कैसे क्या वो फ़ोन कॉल रही थी घर पे जब आपने बताया होगा कि हम एक्चुअली वर्ल्ड चैम्पियन बन गए हैं?
सबसे पहले तो मम्मी पापा बहुत खुश हुए और भाई भी बहुत खुश हुआ, उनने मुझे मेहनत करवाई थी.
आई एम श्योर यहाँ पे जितने भी प्लेयर्स बैठे हैं सबके माता पिता बहुत ही खुश होंगे. एंड कुछ लोग तो बता भी नहीं पा रहे होंगे कि कितनी आज उनके मन में वो प्रसन्नता होगी कि हमारी बेटियां उन्हें क्या करके दिखा दिया है. मतलब हम यहाँ बैठे हैं स्टूडियो में आपसे बात कर रहे हैं और मैं तो बिल्कुल सोच रही हूँ कि ये तो सेलिब्रिटीज़ हैं जिनके साथ मैं बैठी हूँ, मैं तो कभी जीवन में वो नहीं वो ट्रॉफी छू पाऊँगी. शायद अगर आप अलाउ करेंगे तो इस इंटरव्यू के बाद मैं पकड़ना ज़रूर चाहूँगी उसे, पर मेरे इस लाइफ टाइम में तो मैं ये भारत के लिए नहीं कर पाऊँगी. तो जेन्युइनली जो हार्डशिप्स आप लोगों ने देखी हैं और जहाँ से आप आए हैं और आज आप जो इंस्पिरेशन बने हैं दुनिया के लिए, उसी बात पर एक और राउंड ऑफ अप्लॉज हो जाए हम सभी भारत के प्लेयर्स के लिए. पर मेरे को थोड़े से अब कुछ ऐसे भी सवाल पूछने हैं, क्योंकि एक बात आई थी कि अब आप लोग सब बहनों की तरह रहती हैं, फैमिली हैं. तो एक छोटा सा रैपिड फायर राउंड हम ज़रूर करेंगे सबके साथ, और उसका नाम लीजिएगा जो आपको लगता है इस बात पर फिट बैठता है. मैं सबसे पहले समझना चाहूँगी कि टीम में सबसे चुलबुला कौन है? कौन है ऐसा जिसको हर टाइम मस्ती सूझती है? अनेका और सुनीता. कुछ ऐसा एक बताएंगे? दीपिका, बड़ी जल्दी सबने जवाब दिया, तो ऐसा क्या करा है इन्होंने? कोई एक इंसिडेंट कुछ बता दीजिए.
वो सुनीता है ना, मैं ग्राउंड में पूरा मैं सीरियस में खेलती हूँ, लेकिन मैं कुछ सीरियस में बोलते हो कॉमेडी जैसे पूरा करते हैं. और हाँ ठीक है राजा जी, मैं करती हूँ ऐसे पूरा मज़ा करके खेलते हो.
तो फिर टीम में सबसे डिसिप्लिन्ड कौन है कि इसी वक्त उठना है, इसी वक्त खाना खाना है, इसी वक्त सोना है, ऐसे करना है, बिल्कुल मतलब स्ट्रेट लाइन में जो बंदा एक टीम में जो सबसे आपको लगता है सबसे डिसिप्लिन्ड प्लेयर? आई एम श्योर सब डिसिप्लिन्ड होंगे क्योंकि स्पोर्ट्स डिसिप्लिन के बिना तो होता ही नहीं है, पर कुछ होते हैं.
ऐसे होता है कि हम लोग B1 को पार्टनर्स दिया जाता है, तो वो लोग साथ में उठते हैं और साथ में खाना खाते हैं, साथ में चलते हैं. एट द सेम टाइम टीम एक साथ जाती है और एक साथ आती है.
ओके, सो द फुल टीम आई वुड से इज डिसिप्लिन्ड. पर कोच की बात कौन सबसे पहले सुनता है, और वो कुछ होते हैं ना लोग जो बिल्कुल बस हाँ कोच ने बोल दिया तो अब हम ऐसे ही करेंगे, जो सबसे ज़्यादा कोच की बात मानता है और सबसे जल्दी मानता है। ये तो आप ही बता दीजिए, आपको ही सबसे बेहतर पता होगा कि कौन है जो सबसे कम आपको परेशान सबसे कम कौन करता है।
I mean, सब सुनते हैं ऐसे तो नहीं बोल, पिक तो नहीं करूँगी ना मैं, ऑफ कोर्स मैं ये बोलूँगी सब लोग तो सुनते हैं, बट बहुत डिसिप्लिन अगर बोला चाहूँगी तो मैं जमुना का नाम लूँगी। B1 जमुना है।
ओके, जमुना बहुत खुश हैं अपना नाम सुन के। कोई ऐसा है जो प्रैंक्स करता है, जिसको प्रैंक्स करने की कोई थोड़ा सा नॉटी है, और
अनिका और सुनीता।
अनिका सुनीता सारी इन सब चीज़ों में सबसे पहले नाम आपके ही आ रहे हैं। खाना सबसे ज़्यादा किसको पसंद है टीम में? सबको। पर अगर एक चुनना हो तो सबसे ज़्यादा खाने से लगाव किसको है? कौन है ऐसा?
काव्या एनआर।
दिन रात
काव्या एनआर।
काव्या, क्या अच्छा लगता है खाने में आपको? अच्छा, नॉन वेज। तो मतलब कोई ऐसा प्लेयर जो मैं दिन रात खाने के बारे में सोच रही?
यस, दैट्स काव्या एनआर फॉर श्योर।
अभी क्या सोच रही हैं? अभी कौन से खाने के बारे में सोच रही हैं?
बाद में क्या देता है करके।
अच्छा, जल्दी गुस्सा किसी को आता है टीम में?
मिस कैप्टन।
अच्छा, बट देखिए गुस्से में ही वो,
बट ऑनेस्टली वो सबसे अच्छा लगता है सबको। वो जैसे ही चिल्लाती है वो सब मतलब
ऑन करते हैं ना वो लोग, जल्दी अंडरस्टैंडिंग करते हैं।
बड़ा अच्छा एक्सप्लेनेशन दिया है कैप्टन ने आपको, बड़ा डिप्लोमेटिकली समझाया है कि मैं क्यों गुस्सा करती हूँ। सबसे ज़्यादा काम, रिलैक्स्ड, बड़े शांत स्वभाव वाला कौन है टीम में?
गंगा कदम।
ओके, गंगा इज़ नॉट विद अस हियर टुडे, शी इज़ द वाइस कैप्टन ऑफ द टीम। वो आज नहीं है, बट ठीक है। सबसे स्ट्रेटेजिक प्लेयर आप किसको कहेंगे चंदू जी, जो गेम को आपको लगता है कहीं ना कहीं किसी अलग ही नज़रिए से देखते हैं? Pula. So Pula, of course, was player of the match in the final, right? So that explains why she was player of the match as well. टीम की बेबी कौन है, जिसको बिल्कुल जो होता है ना छोटा बच्चा, छोटा भाई बहन जैसा?
दो लोग हैं, पार्वती और करना।
पार्वती और करना द टीम के जो छोटे बेबीज हैं। और सबकी मम्मी कौन है यहाँ पे? टीम की मम्मी कौन है? कोई एक ऐसा जो बिल्कुल जैसे एक मम्मी का डर रहता है, थोड़ा एक प्रोटेक्टिव और डिसिप्लिन करने वाली, कौन सी? आई वुड अज्यूम कि वो फिर दीपिका ही हैं।
मैम कोच है, कोच, फिजियो और मैनेजर।
अच्छा, तीनों। तो चंदू जी, राजश्री जी, शिखा जी, आप हैं टीम की बेसिकली, आप इनकी 3 मम्मियाँ भी हैं, बिसाइड्स बीइंग द कोच, फिजियो एंड मैनेजर। Ladies and gentlemen, I have to wrap up this conversation. Now, India's had a back-to-back winning streak as far as cricket is concerned, starting with the men, but of course the women have just done us so proud. Imagine we win the Women's World Cup, and then a week later we also win the T20 World Cup for the blind by women. What a unbelievable few months we've had. So I want to end this conversation now on a positive note. चंदू जी, आपसे समझना चाहेंगे कि अब यहाँ से सफ़र कहाँ जाता है लड़कियों के लिए, महिलाओं के लिए?
अभी तो जो स्पेशली इनके लिए बहुत ज़्यादा ब्राइट फ्यूचर है। देखा जाए इनको बहुत लेमलाइट मिल रहा है, अभी लोग पहचान रहे हैं इनको कि हाँ ब्लाइंड क्रिकेट भी है। एट द सेम टाइम जो अभी अंदर आने वाले हैं उनके लिए और अच्छा होने वाला है, क्योंकि ये लोग ऑलरेडी स्टेज उनको बना के दे रहे हैं। तो आई वुड रियली वांट, जिनको खेलना है, जिनको है करने के लिए जुनून है, प्लीज़ आगे आइए और एनरोल कीजिए आपको जहाँ जहाँ आपको अपॉर्चुनिटी मिलता है, एंड बी प्राउड। जो भी आप करना चाहते हो करो।
राशि जी, सेम क्वेश्चन टू यू। आई वांट टू अंडरस्टैंड फ्रॉम योर पर्सपेक्टिव,
like
where do we go from here?
I guess like from here it's आगे बहुत 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 ज़्यादा अच्छे रास्ते हैं। लाइक इनको और रिकग्नाइजेशन मिल रहा है एंड और भी अच्छी अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ मिले ताकि और टूर्नामेंट्स हो, बिकॉज लोग अब पहचानने लगे, लोग और सपोर्ट करने लगे। तो वी विश कि लाइक और टूर्नामेंट्स हो आगे और ज़्यादा वी गेट मोर ट्रॉफीज़ एट होम और ज़्यादा वर्ल्ड कप लेकर आए वापस. तो आगे आई थिंक द फ्यूचर इज़ वेरी ब्राइट फॉर दिस लेडीज. लाइक it's gonna rock like.
Absolutely. And our best wishes. I want to leave the last word with our victorious captain, Deepika. आपसे समझना चाहेंगे, अब आपको क्या लगता है फ्यूचर कैसा होना चाहिए?
हम नहीं सोच लेकिन आई नॉट एक्सपेक्ट दैट वर्ल्ड कप विन होते इतना अच्छे से रिस्पॉन्स मिलते, मैं नहीं सोचा, और बहुत अच्छे से रिस्पॉन्स मिल गया. और सोशल मीडिया और गवर्नमेंट और हम लोगों को सबसे पहले चीफ मिनिस्टर हमको विश किया, बहुत खुश हो गए हम लोगों को. लेकिन बड़ा क्रिकेट प्लेयर आल्सो विश किया, मिताली राज मैम, स्मृति मंदना, जमीमा दीदी और हरमान दीदी बहुत सपोर्ट करते हैं. और जमीमा दीदी ऑलवेज ब्लाइंड क्रिकेट को बहुत हेल्प करते हैं, लेकिन हमारा साथ बात करते, चैट करते, और ऐसे सपोर्ट मिलते हम लोग और अचीव कर सकते हैं, और वर्ल्ड कप जीत के आ सकते हैं हम. और हमारा जूनियर प्लेयर्स होते हैं ना, और आगे हम भी खेल सकते हैं, हम भी अचीव कर सकते हैं, सोच के आते हैं वो लोग भी.
एब्सोल्युटली जी. देखिए इन्होंने अब एक रास्ता बना दिया है. वो रास्ता शुरू में बनाना बहुत कठिन होता है, एंड होपफुली हम इनसे और भी बात करेंगे फ्यूचर में, तो वो समझ पाएंगे हम कि क्या मुश्किल रही, क्या प्रॉब्लम्स रही, पर अब एक वो रास्ता बन गया है. ये वर्ल्ड चैम्पियंस आपके सामने बैठे हैं, लेडीज़ एंड जेंटलमैन, एंड नाउ द स्काई, एज दे से, is the limit. So it's up to our imagination what we will achieve next as far as women in this country are concerned. Once again, a huge round of applause for our world champions, the winners of the T20 World Cup Cricket for the Blind. Thank you so much for joining us in New Delhi. Thank you so much. आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद. Thank you.
अब छोलिया हो या लोबिया, सफेद चने या काले चने,
सब कुछ मजेदार बने.
MDH यूपी ऑन द राइज, सुन ले आसमां, डबल इंजन का ये मिशन महान. 2047 तक हम न रुकेंगे, 6 ट्रिलियन का ड्रीम पूरा करेंगे. मथुरा की गलियों में गूंजे है राधा, अयोध्या में दूर हुई मंदिर की बाधा, काशी प्रयागराज की गोल्डन चमक, यूपी सरकार की गूंजे धमक. सड़कों पर फर्राटा फिक्रलेस बिल्कुल बिंदास, एक्सप्रेस वे पर साए पूरा विश्वास. विकसित यूपी की बढ़ गई प्यास, 2047 का ये विजन बहुत खास. माफिया का दी एंड, फियर गॉन, योगी राज में लॉ एंड ऑर्डर हुआ स्ट्रॉन्ग. बेखौफ घूमे जनता, गुंडों पर मार, नया यूपी तोड़ रहा पुरानी दीवार. यूपी ऑन द राइज, सुन ले आसमां, डबल इंजन का ये मिशन महान. 2047 तक हम न रुकेंगे, 6 ट्रिलियन का ड्रीम पूरा करेंगे.
MDH केसर का हो बहाना,
कश्मीरी पुलाव या वो बिरयानी खाना, केसरी चाय दूध, रसमलाई, केसरी लड्डू,
हलवा याद लाना.
अरे यही तो है MDH केसर का बहाना.
MDH शुद्ध केसर, खुशबू ऐसी जो दिल जीत ले.
MDH. All right, US President Donald Trump has once again stirred global debate with his comments on third world countries, saying the United States must pause migration from what he calls failed nations. But what exactly does he mean by that is the big question. When Trump uses the term failed nations, he is referring to countries struggling with extreme political instability, economic collapse, weak governance and internal conflict. It is ironic that Trump's strategies in his first term and in his second term are just doubling down on these so-called third world countries. Countries like Iran, Venezuela, Somalia and Libya are being targeted by the United States. The continuous airstrikes in Venezuela and Caribbean are an example of this. The term of third world in itself is, well, outdated, inflammatory and ignores the complex historical and geopolitical reasons behind these crises.
It reduces entire nations to labels and oversimplifies human suffering. But Trump continues to use it as a political tool, positioning his policy as a defensive measure to protect American interests. As the debate intensifies, one thing is absolutely clear: his comments have put the spotlight back on America's tough immigration stance and the controversy surrounding how the US defines and deals with failed nations. Let's talk about this with our guest. Joining us on the show is Ambassador Veena Sikri, former diplomat. Dr. Sharat Kohli, senior economist, is also with us on the show. Mr. Andrew Latham, professor of international relations, is joining us from Minneapolis, the United States. And Purnima Nath, Republican leader, is also with us on this all-important conversation. Ambassador Sikri, I'll begin with you. Well, third world countries was, a term coined when the world was divided during Cold War. If you supported the Western Bloc, you were the first world. If you supported Russia, you were the second bloc. And if you supported neither, you were third world. Of course, the Cold War has been over for over 35 years now, and yet this term has lingered on. Donald Trump is using it to basically define, or rather redefine, the immigration policy or rebirth or renaissance in the United States, but it all seems very populist in nature. It's obviously after the attack in Washington, D.C. that he's come up with these policies. Do you think this is a knee-jerk reaction and it is bereft of the understanding that is needed by a country like the United States when it comes to understanding global equations and issues?
Well, President Trump said this as part of his Thanksgiving message. And of course, he is at all times aiming at his own MAGA constituency. So that is very clear. The term third world is completely outdated. In fact, even universities in India no longer use that term. I remember there used to be an Academy of Third World Studies in Jamia Millia Islamia. Even that changed their name to Academy of International Studies. So that third world term is very outdated. But I think specifically what President Trump seems to be referring to is that in June of this year, there was a similar another terrorist attack in Boulder, Colorado. And after that, President Trump had issued a list of about 19 countries, 12 of these countries were completely banned for people to come from there to get visas, and 7 of those were partially banned. So I think this time he is really referring to that list as well, and that had countries like Afghanistan, Myanmar, Chad, Eritrea, Somalia, and so on. A large number of countries, including Cuba. But I don't think that even at that time in June, when he first issued that list, whether any executive orders were passed, formally putting those countries in a banned list or saying that that people from these countries will not be allowed to come. Maybe it was just an informal order issued to the ICE authorities or the visa authorities in those countries, the American embassies in those countries. So similarly, this time when he's made a similarly sweeping reference without any details, it's probably we won't even know of the executive order. The instruction would go to the embassy. But yes, it does create a whole lot of uncertainty because, and I think it affects the American economy as well, because students don't know what to expect, so their numbers are down. Tourists don't know what to expect, for their numbers are down. Even if you have a regular visa, you're being stopped by the ICE authorities on entry for various reasons. I mean, recently there was a reason given that even if a person's health doesn't look good, if there's obesity or if there's diabetes, something, then that person should not be allowed to enter. So there is a whole lot of uncertainty, and I think, of course, it affects a lot of countries around the world, but certainly it's affecting the American economy as well.
Dr. Kohli, how do you look at what's happening in the United States? Do you think that it's rather impetuous of Donald Trump to come up with this kind of a reaction towards immigration? And Ambassador Sikri is absolutely right that he is playing to a gallery, right? And that gallery includes the people who voted for him and support him from MAGA.
Good evening, Vineet, to you, my panelists and Newsx viewers. Well, we have a Republican leader here on the panel. I don't know how many of Republican leaders or his constituencies or the regions are getting pleased. Well, I think what he forgot was that America, if it is made today, having said that, I would like to first attach a rider. I have no sympathies whatsoever for what happened in DC. It needs to be condemned at every level.
Absolutely.
There is no sympathy. I mean, having said that, I mean, I would carry on with what I have to say. He forgot that America has been made out of so-called third world. If today a large part of America, of its success, is owed towards people who migrated here ages ago. And I think he completely forgot that. And without these people, America would not have been what it is today. All the economic progress, although there is very, very little to talk about as of now, but I'm diving into history. If whatever America today is a $30 trillion economy, let me add a rider, there's $38 trillion of debt as well. But whatever America is today is purely simply because of emerging nations. I think you have all the right to question the person. You have all the right to investigate whatever happened in DC. You have all the right to punish the person. He should be punished. But you paint the whole world with the same brush, I think is completely inappropriate. What President Trump is trying to do is to isolate America, move over from a policy of multilateralism to a policy of not even bilateralism at this point of time, because I don't know who's America's friend at this point of time. I really don't know who's the country which is probably dear to America. Is America only thinking of itself? You were isolated on a map. Well, America is far off from the rest of the world, but are you trying to isolate? But America was more integrated to the world than any other country. You know, the brands which America has created over all these years, they have become part and parcel of the lives of people around the world. But are you trying to isolate now, not just geographically, but also business-wise, also immigration-wise, also socially? I think these kind of remarks, and to be, as I said, painting the entire world, the entire country because of one person by the same brush. I'm not taking any sides. As I said, I condemn what is happening. It's what has happened should not have happened. But then I think you completely forget, as you rightly said, third world is no more a term used. It's very archaic in nature. We call them emerging economies. And those emerging economies are the growth engines of the world. He called India as a dead economy once, an economy which has got today GDP numbers of 8.2% in the quarter. You call that economy as a dead economy? Just because, what about Pakistan? What about Pakistan? Is that not a third world country? When Shahbaz Sharif and Asif Munir are your dearest, you love them. He said, I love them. Is that not a third world country? I think he needs to be very careful in choosing words. I have an ambassador here, very experienced. She spent her life on diplomacy. I think one should be very careful in choosing words when you're speaking on public platform, because the ramifications and the repercussions of these remarks can be very far-reaching. And sometimes the damage done takes very, very long time to repair. I think he's completely ignored that, Vineet.
You're absolutely right. And Andrew, do you think that Donald Trump, is keeping this eventual damage in mind when he's making these announcements?
I'm not sure that I associate the word thinking, at least deeply, with President Trump too often. I will say this, partly in his defense, although not really. I think many people on the progressive side of the political continuum in this country thought they had put some of the worst elements of American history and culture behind them, and they haven't. This is not the first time Americans and American presidents have decried the evils of migrant populations. The Irish in the mid-19th century, they had an evil religion, Roman Catholicism. They were terrorists, they were drunks, they were thugs, they were lazy. A little bit later, the Italians, and then the Poles and other Central and Eastern Europeans. And that's a group, those are peoples that weren't even racialized. Well, they were racialized, but they obviously now sort of blend into WASP, white Anglo-Saxon Protestant America. So this is an inglorious tradition that goes back to the founding of this republic. Sometimes it's below the surface, but every now and then it erupts. And what's troubling about President Trump is, in recent decades, American presidents have tried to keep that below the surface or eliminate it. They certainly haven't endorsed this view that there are real Americans who belong to a particular race and who are not migrants. And then there are these other people from backward countries, third world countries. It doesn't really matter what label you stick on them. The connotation is always they are backward, evil, lazy, and they don't understand what it is to be American. Now, I'm an immigrant to this country. Admittedly, I'm a three-time immigrant, so I move around a lot. But I'm not treated the same way as Afghan migrants, including those who fought beside the United States military. I'm not treated the same way as Mexican day laborers. The list goes on and on and on. I hope you take my point, which is that categories of race shift and change over time. Once upon a time, the Irish were racialized, not anymore. But there's always this powerfully resonating racial framing that certain political entrepreneurs and actors can use at particular moments in American history to whip up their base in a way that is ultimately very, very, not just destructive, but frighteningly destructive.
You're quite right, and that's a great perspective to include in this argument. Purnamanath, Donald Trump, of course, once again, ruffling feathers in his unique way, the only way he can. What do you make of it?
Thank you so much, Vinit, for having me. First of all, this particular incident that this comment came across, and we Hindus don't condone violence. And as a Hindu, Indian American, I must say that we don't align with this kind of violence. We are not the one who's actually causing anything in any country that we have called our home. But unfortunately, if we actually look at Donald Trump's history, he's the master of name calling. He has called so many labels in terms of, let's say, crooked Hillary for Hillary Clinton, little Marco for Marco Rubio, who's his Secretary of State right now. Several names like Sloppy Steve for Steve Bannon and things like that. Sleepy Joe for Joe Biden. And then he called India as a dead economy. It's not just that, but pollution, dirty. India is not really doing well. It's a poor country and etc. like that. And on top of it, he recently called Russia as a paper tiger. And they're broken. They're broken, and they're not going to do it. They're not doing well, and all kinds of stuff that he comes up with. And basically, the MAGA base takes that and expands it from there on, and it becomes very dangerous for a person like that who's not an immigrant of white-skinned European descent. And they literally, it mutates into a hate campaign for people like us. So who actually did he call third world country? Did he not remember that America was the one actually invaded Afghanistan? Did he actually not remember that America is actually planning to invade Venezuela next? Did he actually not remember that America is the one who's actually invading literally countries after country, whether it is Sudan or Syria or Iraq or Afghanistan or any other country? The threatening and the bullying and the insult that is going on constantly, daily basis, from morning to evening and night, is non-stop. And that's not just happening sporadically here and there, and you can assume things. Then you can actually come up with ideas saying that, oh, he may have meant something. There's nothing to discuss about. He's exactly saying what he's meaning, and his words, it's not just for MAGA base. He thinks that he can actually use those Truth Social as a political base and as also a formal base to promote his idea to make America great again. But how do you make America great again when our president itself is talking like that, looking down on our people? Do we, as a Republican, as an immigrant, as a legal immigrant to this country, do we say the shooter shouldn't be questioned? But we also have to ask this question: why is he actually pulling down every immigrant in this particular case, which is a third world country? If America actually didn't align with the British at the time of partition of India, Pakistan, today India would have been one of the top country already. We wouldn't be in this country coming here for a job or education or anything like that. And this is an insult to me and every single Indians and every single immigrants who is not a white descent. And to me, that doesn't actually build any kind of alliance in the world. I don't know who is he pleasing, and I'm worried that the midterm is something that we are going to be losing already. Recent name calling he has actually done, to Marjorie Taylor Greene was Marjorie Traitor Greene. And because she didn't align with President Trump, she actually pulled back and said, I'm sorry I went into the toxic politics. I'm not going to do that anymore. And she's resigning. I think January 5th is her last day from Congress. But this is something that we have to pay attention and call out, because President Trump is sitting in a very powerful position. He shouldn't be abusing this particular position in order to push division in the world. And to me, this is where I draw my line as a Republican. I've supported this man for 10 years, constantly, with all kinds of label that came across to me. People called me fascist for supporting him, but I don't support what he's doing. I don't support his name calling. I don't support his militarization of the streets. I don't support his terrorizing the world. I don't support invading other countries. I don't support calling the non-white, non-Christians as non-American either. And this is something that we as a global, as a human being has to talk about. And this is not working for America. I don't think this is working for Republican Party either.
All right. As a Sikri, in fact, Donald Trump is going to be completing a year in office in the White House in just a few months. What do you think has been done? What has changed in the last 1 year since Donald Trump took over? There have been a few wars which he is claimed to have resolved. The world finds itself in a lot of upheaval when it comes to trade. Economies are going for a toss, except for India's. What do you think is going to be, the outlook for the year that is soon going to pass by under Donald Trump's watch?
Yes, I think it has come as a big surprise and maybe a shock to the world that there's a huge difference between Donald Trump's policies in his first term as president and President Donald Trump's policies in his second term. So I think the sharp change has left everybody bewildered. Maybe as we have spoken already about the MAGA constituency, that is his core base of support and from where he got all his votes. So he is saying everything that he thinks they will be pleased with. But I don't think that, judging from the popularity and the poll results that are there, that even among the MAGA constituency there has been a falling off. I think largely because of the sudden twists and turns. I mean, when the big beautiful act came into being and the policy of tariffs came into being, there was enough discussion even within Republican circles about the value of using tariffs as a weapon, to weaponize foreign policy, to weaponize trade through the use of tariffs, whether it would yield results, both in terms of the relationship goals you want to achieve and in terms of the benefits for the American economy. And I think that more and more as time goes by, it is proving to be that it's not going to help the American economy, the tariffs, because it does cut both ways, and eventually the cost is borne by the American consumer. And that is why there's been a problem with the American economy. So I think all of America is getting used to this, and so is the rest of the world. With India, we have seen that we have been very calm and collected about it, but we've been quite firm that we are not going to allow for a discriminatory policy. We do not want that. For example, purchase of Russian oil, the extra 25% tariff on India for purchase of Russian oil is quite discriminatory as compared to the no tariffs on either the European Union countries or China, who are buying much larger amounts of Russian oil. And I think that India's patience and firmness on this, you are seeing results of that. Let's see what we will hear before the end of this year. So I think that the whole world is getting used to it, but I think one has to wonder first and foremost whether it's of benefit to America as well. That is the first question, that whether it's going to yield that many trillions to overcome the debt of the American economy, or whether it's going to bring prosperity to certain sections of the American economy. And I think the business against the immigrants, again, this is a complete sharp reversal from what President Joe Biden was doing. But I think at a certain point, you have to, I think, call a pause to it. Otherwise, it creates chaos everywhere.
Fair enough. We have run out of time. Appreciate everyone who joined in and weighed in on this important conversation. Some breaking news coming in now. Well, the Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah has invited his deputy D.K. Shivkumar for bilateral talks over breakfast following a directive from the Congress High Command. The Karnataka power tussle row the Chief Minister issue has been raging on in the Congress ruled state for a while now, prompting the High Command to take action. Belly, my colleague, is joining us on the broadcast to give us more